A drama-filled Tuesday. Welcome aboard, Big Silz here. And do me a favor, please hit the like button, Super Chats. Go to the top. So we're wandering down nostalgia lane. Brandon Graham back with the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. I guess. So you're trying to tell me this entire offseason, you go through Azeezah Ujulari, Joshua Uche, all the rest of them dudes that you brought in, and you decide because you forced Brandon Graham into retirement, because you didn't want to pay him, to come back on October 21st and call the guy out of retirement because you've whiffed on every single thing you did on Edge. This is admitting that you bombed at your edge room. It's completely admitting that you bombed in everything you did in your edge room. I mean, everything that you brought in failed. Everything. Every single thing. And get this. And you forced the guy into retirement. We all know that. And the guy even emphasized it and said today he didn't want to retire. The organization forced him into retirement. And so, now they had to walk back over the plank to go get Brandon Graham and bring him back because you got a shitty edge room right now. Okay. Hey, at least Howie's admitting to failure. And going back over again, look at what he did too the last couple moves. Went back and got Fred. Made a deal with Jacksonville. Now he's calling a guy out of retirement because the guy, once again, turned around and failed and whiffed at his edge room. Okay? I mean, this is all on Howie. Howie has had a brutal offseason. A brutal offseason. I guarantee you the conversation on potentially bringing back Gardner Johnson is going to be front and center as well. Make no mistake about it. This is admitting, we're going to talk about Brandon Graham here in a second. So what does it say about the rest of them if Brandon Graham comes in and performs all the others and he outperforms all the other edge guys? It just tells you those guys, they overestimated the edge room once again. Right? Okay, I'll tell you this. I see some of the guys in here. Bro, you lost to the New York fucking Giants and got annihilated. The Lions are a pretty good team. That was Baker's worst night. Your guy has stunk for 6 weeks. That was Baker Mayfield's worst night. No doubt, he was terrible. And by the way, he's won games without Godwin and Evans. He's won without Bucky Irvin. Your guy needs a full stacked fucking team. No doubt. Every single one of these 5-2 football teams, Bucks get crushed last night by the Lions. All these 5-2 teams have all blowout victories or victories against them. You were annihilated by the New York shitty Giants. Annihilated. Annihilated. It's one thing to be in a game versus a team, dude, like the Lions who are going to make the playoffs. You were annihilated by a shitty Giants team. Deal with it. As we move on. By the way, there's no getting around it. No excuses. Baker sucked last night. He absolutely sucked. They were crushed by the Lions as you were annihilated by the New York football Giants. Crushed. By the way, so bad, you got beat up in that game. So don't talk to me about teams not having a bad loss on their resume. The Packers got killed by the Browns. Really? Don't make it sound like your guys played great. I'll tell you flat out, we'll show you what you've done so far this year in a minute. So, hit the like button. Appreciate all. Keith Byers. the legendary Philadelphia Eagle, will join us at 4:30. We will talk with him on what's wrong with your boy and what's wrong with Saquon Barkley in the run game. We'll get his thoughts on what's wrong with Saquon Barkley. Okay, so let's ask the most important question. Oh, real quick. A.J. Brown hates being in the Philadelphia Eagle offense because he knows what the Philadelphia Eagle offense is going to do. He fucking hates it here. You can't deny it anymore. He hates the Eagle offense because of the quarterback. He hates it. Your star wide receiver hates being in that offense. No other way around it. He hates it being with that quarterback. I don't know what else to say. Get this, I don't really have to say anything. Just listen to the receivers. Hey, I was open. I was open the entire game. That's Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown hates his quarterback. How you doing? How do you deal with that? If you're an Eagle fan, how do you deal with the fact that your star wide receiver can't stand that offense? This is after he pitched a perfect game. How about that? He hates it. Hates being with that quarterback. Here, what was the new tweet that he had? What was the new one? This is after the guy pitched a perfect game. Eagle wide receiver A.J. Brown posted on his Instagram, using me but not using me. This guy hates his quarterback. Fucking fabulous. He tells you every week. Get this. What's the gossip? He's telling you, man. That's not gossip. That's the wide receiver talking, dude. Hey, he hates the offense because the offense, well, if he hates the offense, my friend, that's because the offense is built around the quarterback. How about that? Your star wide receiver can't stand being in that offense. How you doing? All right. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. A.J. Brown hates his quarterback. Wow. Okay. This is so great. You know why? The content is written for me before every single show. It's just written for me every single show. All you have to do is just wait for one of the Eagle guys to talk. Brandon Graham telling you he didn't want to retire. Howie Roseman forced him into retirement. Now they're begging him to come back. That's classic. BG's such a good dude that, he's not holding any grudges against anybody. I mean, this is just wonderful news. Now here, let me ask you flat out. And see, because I'll be the only guy. Jamar Gibbs running 22 miles an hour and Graham at the edge. How you doing? Grandpa chasing down that. That'll be good in a couple weeks. Right? Trade that guy. That's how I've been feeling for weeks. Hey, Marsh, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think he clearly doesn't want to be here anymore. Or how about this? I don't think it's anything to do with the Eagles. I don't think he wants to be in that offense. And I don't think it's anything to do with you. Like the Eagle fan base. I don't think it's got anything to do with the fans. I don't think it's got anything to do with Philadelphia. It's got everything to do with that quarterback in the offense. I mean, that's him. I didn't see that until I got ready to go on the show. I mean, okay. Dude, why would I be mad when all I got to do is read your players' comments? Nothing to do with me. I didn't post it. So how much will BG get paid, do you think? That's a good question. I wonder what they paid him to come out of retirement since they forced him into it. Brandon Graham, after trying to chase Gibbs, help, I fallen and I can't get up. Oh, my God. All right. So let's go there. By the way, we're going to be able to give you an objective view here on this. Are the Eagles better with Brandon Graham? Does he make, in his 15 plays, does he make you better? How? How does he make your football team better? Where does he make you better? 15 snaps. How does he make you better? Okay. Locker room? So you're paying $5 million to a guy that will play 15 plays. Moral support. Okay? You cannot force a grown man out of retirement. It's his choice to come back. 5 million reasons why that he came back. Maturity, Silz. Okay? Bucks got destroyed. Yeah, like your Eagles got destroyed against the Giants. Kind of like that, but the Lions are better. Mental health is expensive, okay? So far, it's moral support. You'll take the 15 plays of what? Brandon Graham don't make you better. It can't hurt. Especially since the shitty room you got. But, I mean, yeah. Silz, he will give the young guys leadership on D. Okay. This is just like nostalgia lane here. It's not really impactful football. You're not getting anybody who's going to help your football team. By the way, like I said, it can't help. I mean, it can't hurt. That guy doesn't make your football team better, though. 15 plays out of 65 is not going to make your team better. No, I'm with this. Can't hurt. So let me ask you this then. Intern Sirianni. Okay, so that means that Howie's admitting to the shitty people that he brought in. Okay? Silz, you got to stop with the name calling. What name calling? What team have you made better? What's that? What do I have to do with Brandon Graham coming back to the Eagles? Try to stay on focus, dickhead. Miracles can happen, okay? You can't get another example of how Howie fucked up this offseason. Sig, correct. Okay, correct. Yes. The defense just got better. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Like I said, it can't hurt. Silz, I look at BG like bringing in a fresh arm from the bullpen. In the right spot, he could make a difference. Okay. Sure. I sure hope so. By the way, when Vic Fangio was asked today, Vic said, we'll see. Isn't it funny? You guys think he's going to help. Vic's not sure yet. And by the way, you see Vic skate around the question when asked, has this been in the works? He goes, I've been kind of teasing him about it, but this was never in a conversation. The only conversations that were had was with Howie and Brandon Graham. They probably pivoted after the guy retired, Zadarius Smith. And that's when they came up with this. Because the way that Vic was talking, Vic said that there wasn't any context of conversation where those guys were having sit-down talks about potentially him coming back. He paused and he wanted to answer it correctly. You know that he had nothing to do with him coming back. Zero. This was all Howie. Because after Zadarius, what a better way to cover Zadarius Smith retiring than bringing back Brandon Graham. That's a cover job. Moral support, really, we are paying $5 million to go see a shrink. Okay? Like I said, hey, wait, I want to make sure we underline this. I don't think it can hurt. BG himself said the agent contacted Howie earlier in the season. So they contacted earlier in the season, and they were still with Joshua Uche and Aziza Ojulari. They activated a couple other guys, and they were never even going down that lane. So they went through all those shitty edge rushers, and then finally they admitted to failure. Well, Crowley, it's one or the other. Howie admitting to failure on the people he brought in to bring back Graham, or it never happened. Pick one. And if you want to pick how he failed, I'll go there more too. Because he wanted to work out, why did you just fucking sign him in the offseason? I mean, why did you just sign him? They forced him into retirement. He was probably asked before Zadarius Smith. Really? I don't believe that. So you don't think his voice in the locker room and on the sidelines isn't going to make us any better? No. Football play is going to make you better, dude. Rah-rah speeches and Newt Rockney, that's for high school shit and for college. I don't think any of that stupid stuff. So it's how he hasn't failed yet. Season ain't over. Fair enough. Thank you, Rico. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, my friend. When BG sacks or TFL Silz ain't backpedaling shit on a 37-year-old edge rusher. I won't have to. Good luck. Hey, man, I'm not wishing failure. Good luck to you, guy. I hope it pans out. Okay? Congratulations. That's right, dude. This ain't a movie. Go play fucking football on Sunday. Talk about fucking nostalgia row. It's about winning football games, dude. Gives a shit. Huge indictment on Howie. The second guy from the 24 season Howie has brought back. Huge failure on Howie's part. Hey, look, I want to do this. Are the Eagles better with BG? I don't know. You have to be determined. I'll answer it like Vic. I'll answer it just like Vic. Could we trade for an edge from the Texans? Texans ain't doing anything. Dolphins, Browns, or Jets? Maybe. I don't think this precludes him from making a deal. By the way, that's a true comment. Max Crosby and the Cowboys are pretty close to trying to get a deal done to bring Crosby to Dallas. That's Jerry Jones admitting he failed on letting Michael Parsons go. Jones failed, and he's admitting it too. If Jerry Jones is going to admit it, your boy admitted it by bringing Brandon Graham back. I mean, look, if the Cowboys land that guy and they sign Max Crosby and they make a trade with the Raiders and they bring him to Dallas, that's a failure on Jerry admitting should have kept Parsons. I hope so. At least just don't know if a 37-year-old Graham moves the needle for. Yeah, that's the big question there, Brian. How much does he move the needle? How are we going to bring back BG, CJ, and try for Slay? Watch. I don't know about Slay. Tooth Ringo Uche starting is such an embarrassment. All failures. How about the Redskins, Sil? All jokes aside, we still need an edge, but Graham will help at depth and veteran presence. That's not a bad take. Veteran presence, 15 snaps. I'm really not sure if that moves the needle, though. Okay, I'm not. Dallas always trades with the Raiders. You know, that's a true comment, man. They traded Steve Wisniewski to the Raiders when they drafted him back in the day. It's a good take. That's right. Always seems to be Raiders and Cowboys doing maneuvers and doing trades. You keep bringing up Uche, but he's actually playing pretty well. Really? Well, we'll take a look at that here in a minute. Doesn't have the Shaq to show for it, but he's getting pressure and setting the edge pretty well. Is he? Okay, let's take a look at that. So 7 games. 28 quarters of football. How well do you think you guys have played? Letter grade. Letter grade. How well do you think you've played? C. C at best. D minus. Since we're 7 games in with 11 sacks, you can't tell me BG won't help, okay? So M. Reyes says B. 28 quarters of football. Let's see if you guys agree with M. Reyes on B. Here, we'll go here even. Offense. So far, you're trending. You're 26th in the NFL. Listening to Aches Long said Barkley lost juice in his legs. It said the same as you. Most running backs don't perform after 2K. Tush push hurting the O-line. I know. Isn't that funny? I say it. Other people echo it. All of a sudden it becomes reality. So according to M. Reyes, 5-2 and B. You guys tell me if this is B football that you've played. You're 26th in total offense. You're one of the worst offenses in pro football. Passing, you're 22nd. You're one of the worst passing offenses in pro football. Rushing, you're 30th. You're one of the worst rushing offenses in pro football. Scoring, you're 14th. You're in the middle of the pile. Third down, you're 27th. You're one of the worst 3-and-out teams in all of football. Let's go on the other side, defense. You're 23rd in total D. You're 19th in pass defense. You're 22nd against the run. You're 20th in scoring. And you're 26th in 3-and-outs. That sound like a good football team to you? Does that sound like you're 26th in total offense and you're 23rd in total defense? That sound like a good football team? Does that sound like a good football team? Does that sound like a good football team? Yes or no? Does it? Does that sound like a good football team? I'm just asking. Here, let me show you something else too. Here, so it's a little early for this conversation. Okay, it's a little early. All right, it's a little early for this conversation. But hey, how about this? Those are the facts, M. Reyes. That's what you've done for 7 weeks. Those are the facts. Nothing else. Get this. That's not gossip. Those are facts. I mean, you're 26th in total offense. You're 23rd in total defense. You're 22nd against the run. You're 19th in pass defense. You're 22nd in passing offense. You got one of the worst run games in pro football right now. Do you know you have the second worst run game in football? Your offensive line is disintegrated. That's 28 quarters of football. Here, do I think you're playing C? I think you're playing C minus football. So the offense can improve with coaching adjustments. Coaching adjustments. It's a new one. The defense lacks personnel, too many team signings. Yes. The people screaming 5-2 sound like the 10. Oh my God. Flexing. Amen. Those are the same 10-1 people. Absolutely. Thank you. Flexing, you're right. Those are the same 10-1 2023 people. That's why it's classic watching them post, because we'll remind them of that as we get towards the end of the season. We will remind them of it. Green tinted glasses. Well, if the Bucs are a fraud, you are too. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at that. Real quick, just again, keep an eyeball on this. NFC playoff picture as we're moving into the middle part of the season here. Packers 1, Niners 2, Eagles 3, Bucs 4, Lions 5, Seahawks 6, Rams 7. You know what they all have in common? All 5-2. Some of those teams are going to be fraudulent. Wonder who that will be. I don't know. Silz, how about Silz, hurt boy Jaden Daniels? Can't even make it through a full season. Has he been called out? Is he out for the rest of the year? Is he out for the rest of the year? Bucs looked god-awful yesterday. Absolutely. But listen, you can't use injuries as an excuse. You can't use them in Philly, and you cannot use them in Tampa Bay. Welcome to the NFL. That is just part of it. Bro, no doubt. Hey, I would say this, Paul. Yeah, the Bucs looked as bad as you guys did against the Giants. Absolutely. Jahmyr Gibbs was spectacular last night. The 3 games after the bye will tell us a lot. Jason, amen. Bucs were due for a clunker. Lions were coming off a loss too. Yeah, okay, but Baker Mayfield had his worst night. He was terrible. Overthrows. I think he's beat up. I do. I think the fact that he's had to carry his football team and he's had to carry the team without those wide receivers, they caught up with him. Part of it. We played the Giants this week. So does Silz expect the Giants to blow out the Eagles again? Dude, the Giants already won the season series with you. If you told me at the beginning of the year you didn't sweep them, the Giants won that. They split with you. You could beat them 100-0 now. You lost a game you were going to win. You fucking laid an egg. You got the shit kicked out of you by that team. I mean, you could beat them 100-0 now. They split with you. 1-1. That Giant team won't win 7 games. At least we scored 14 points against the shitty Giants. Congratulations. Jobs is a beast. Great wide receiver. By the way, that offensive line that they got up there in Detroit is the best group in pro football. You guys have the worst O-line. Well, you're 30th ranked in rushing. Okay, Browns beat everyone's Super Bowl pick. Not my pick. I didn't pick the Packers because they got Parsons. You guys, some of you guys were the ones parading around the Green Bay Packers. I'm not there yet. I don't buy that quarterback yet. Silz, this is a good team. Okay. But they are so up and down and inconsistent. Correct. Well, their trends show you that. They've had a C-minus season so far. All right? They've had a C-minus season. I guess any given Sunday or Thursday doesn't matter anymore. Guess no other good team. Hey, listen, I just said that, Dan. Every single 5-2 team's got a shitty loss on there. Did you not hear that? Or are you only hearing what you want to hear? Guys, I appreciate you being here. Please hit the like button here. Okay? Baker Allen Prescott, my friend, he had a bad game for sure. Your guy's been limited. Great game. Great game on Sunday. Baker's played 6 spectacular games. Whatever, guy. Whatever. Damn, the Eagles win like 20 straight games, and they can't even lose a couple of games. Because that doesn't matter, dude. Senor, every season is a different year. You know that by now. Or maybe you still hanging on the parade float. Yeah, so who cares that the Giants won the series with us? What is the significance in the scheme of the season? So you cannot have to take any shit when you beat their ass and get it back? I'm not sure. Hey, Dan, when you're playing against teams that you're supposed to win, beat them. Okay? Yeah, and you still almost lost. God, I have no interest in this guy. Baker's 10 times better than Hurts. Talent-wise. Yes. I'll take a limited winner over a stat machine. Once again, your own wide receiver. Let's get to that now. A.J. Brown does not want to be on this football team. How many people agree with that comment? A.J. Brown doesn't want to be on this football team anymore. How many people believe that A.J. Brown doesn't want? Hey, Reyes, why don't you take a week off? This is my show. Go take a week off, guy. Believe me, you won't be missed. How many people believe that A.J. Brown wants off this team? I do, clearly. Let me tell you something. This is why I love Marsh. Marsh is one of the best people in here. You know why? He's got a mind of his own. Get this. So, Senor thinks that all these things that AJ's doing right now is a sign that he wants to be here. Marsh is a mini Silz. I'll take that as a compliment. And by the way, Marsh, post something else so we make sure that, and I want to make sure that I read your things from now on. And I'm so thankful that you donate to the channel. But I want to make sure that I also do it so that, guess what? That anytime you post something too, that you understand it's not just because I put that up there that you do that, because I value your takes. I think you do a great job. No, Silz, I think he's talking directly at Patullo. Dude, Patullo only builds the offense around the quarterback. That's not Kevin Patullo's fault. His fault is in game. Okay? Jurgens would undergo an MRI to determine the extent of the injury. Howie's pretty quiet. You mean should go? If AJ didn't want to be here, Howie would move the guy. That's not true. AJ back Patullo. He's talking to the quarterback. He hates your quarterback. This guy hates your quarterback. AJ wants attention. No, I don't think so. AJ wants the ball. AJ wants the ball. Attention? All right, wide receivers do. Clairvoyant. AJ hoping it's Hurts. Not that he's lost a step. Only another team will tell him that. Whoa, you think he's lost a step? Okay. Silz, AJ wants out. He has his ring. Unfortunately, he might not go where he wants. That is what I would think too, like sending him to the Browns. Now, the Browns don't have first-round picks because of what? Oh, they do. Jacksonville doesn't. Okay? Aren't we supposed to be judged off playoff performances? Now, regular season ain't shit. 2023 proves that. Okay? I do think postseason matters a lot and how well a football team plays. Sills, he's talking to both, but Nick has handcuffs on the team. Nick or Howie? So they should throw the ball to AJ 20 times a game. Send his ass back to Tennessee. I don't think they're talking that way. I think they're just talking about more balance. AJ doesn't care about Lombardi's. He wants to dominate, so he probably would want to be somewhere else. But he doesn't hate the quarterback. Oh, I don't think he hates the quarterback. I think he hates the quarterback skill set. Why force a guy to be here that doesn't want to? Easy answer, another indictment on Howie. Boy, I'll tell you one thing, man. My boy, Big Marsh, man, he's on Howie Roseman also. Howie has hurt the team a lot this year. If there is one guy that's hurt the team, it is Howie Roseman, big time. Here, let me ask you this. Who do you think has hurt the team more this year? Howie Roseman or Kevin Patullo? Who's hurt the team more? Kevin Patullo or Howie? Those numbers are terrible. No depth. No depth. And where are you there? Hollywood. No depth. That's why you're bringing BG back. Think of that. You're bringing Brandon Graham back because you have no depth. I've been calling out Howie's BS. Okay? It's a simple question. You don't need to get your panties in a bind. Who has hurt the team more? Howie or Kevin Patullo? The awful free agent signings. You're going to an AARP guy because you don't have any answers. God forbid. Hey, by the way, let me ask you this. Okay. The bringing back of Brandon Graham, does that now make it an important move now that Howie has to make a move by November 4th at edge. Because if he doesn't make an edge, your edge room is going to be paper mache Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Uche, and a 37-year-old Brandon Graham. How about this? I got more confidence at Brandon Graham playing the rest of the season than I do Nolan Smith. How's that? I think Brandon Graham has a better chance at playing the rest of the year than what Nolan Smith does. Right? I mean, by the way, like I said, the guys you have right now, your defense is holding on. You know what your defense is doing right now? Because your offense is so incompetent. Your offense is so incompetent, your defense is just hanging on by one thread. Red zone defense. Because the rest of what you've done for 28 quarters has been terrible. You're keeping people out of the end zone with the 12th defender, the back of the end zone. That's a testament to Vic. Because from 20 to 20, you're getting your asses kicked. I mean, you can pretend all you want, but when I tell you who you are, you don't like to hear it. And on top of that, you're the cheapest defense in football. And I'm not going to know anything about this Eagle team versus the shitty Giants on Sunday. Win those games. Try to create some momentum with the passing game. Get some balance. I thought bringing back BG was the last resort plan. It is. You better hope that's not the last resort plan. Let me ask you this. Do you think the signing of Brandon Graham makes it imperative that Howie has to make an even bigger move now at edge? Because if he doesn't make a bigger move than Brandon Graham and you make another lateral move, you got a bunch of dudes in the room again. Silz, Howie Roseman makes a move at edge. I'm looking at Dolphins or Jets. The kid from Florida State and the kid from Miami. Right, Kim? If he makes another lateral move and signs somebody like Brandon Graham, he ain't made any move. I agree, Steve. He's got to make a big move now. Now, look, I'm not talking Myles Garrett shit. Jermaine Johnson sounds right. Kyle? Silz, follow me here. AJ does not hate the quarterback skills. AJ's had his best season with the quarterback and his skills. He hates the fact that the quarterback is now a company guy. Dude, as long as Saquon Barkley's on that team, you'll never see a passing game. This was his backup plan the whole time. Pathetic. Howie's signing washed Puerto Ricos. Listen, let's not go crazy and disrespecting Brandon Graham because I'm not going there either. I'm not disrespecting anybody. Not somebody like that. 2 career years in a Super Bowl, and AJ hates the quarterback. What a dumb take. Really? You explain the wide receiver's actions, asshole. I'm done with that guy. He's taking the rest of the day off. He's just a mouthpiece for the Eagles. We just saw a passing game. You sure did. And you won't see it for the next year. The way the structured contract puts money into bonuses and not the cap, there can be a lot of deep cap money. You don't sign a guy that just retired for just the hell of it. Correct. Okay? Why? I'm the one that shows up every day. This is my show. You don't have to be, guy, this ain't the military. This is not the military. We saw a passing game in the Super Bowl as well, idiots. Yeah, I know. Super Bowl and yesterday. That's why it'll be like that forever. So most teams would suck with this run game. There are a lot of factors, but it starts there, and no one saw it coming. Howie's to blame for the defense? Who's to blame for the run game? Who do you think is to blame for the run game? Would this be a fair comment? The Eagles sacrificed the health of the football team by pushing all their chips in by going one-dimensional a year ago. And do you think, follow me here, hey, Bob Brown, Big Marsh, follow me here, okay? For a team that cares so much about the health of their football team. Hey, by the way, guys, this take will be stolen in a minute, okay? It'll be stolen in a minute. Do you think a year ago that them pushing all their chips in with that run game, so much so that they've affected Barkley's future and the offensive line's future? A team that absolutely values taking health, not playing preseason, not doing anything. Cam Jurgens is a shell of himself. Landon Dickerson had 2 procedures. Get this, folks. Want me to give you facts? Let me give you facts on my take. You've got the 30th ranked fucking rushing attack. Okay? 30th. Landon Dickerson has had 2 procedures and has been in and out of games. Cam Jurgens is a shell of himself and been injured. And Barkley, it was averaging 3 yards a carry. What do you think? So you went from number 2 in rushing to 30th? Jordan Mailata's not even the same. I mean, I'm lining the facts up for you. You have the second worst rushing attack in pro football. You were number 2 in running and dominant. The running back had one of the greatest years in the history of the National Football League, if not the. And here's something else. You're right, dude. It's only week 8. It's not going to get better. What do you think these guys are going to get fucking healthier during the year? Nobody gets healthier during the year. Every single thing that I pointed out to you is fact. That's not an opinion. I wouldn't go that far because they gave up on the rushing record. I think it's just a down year. Okay? So then you would agree with me, though, Marsh, that they sacrificed 2025 by going all in on 2024. Dude, you got the second worst running attack in football. And because they didn't go with balance last year, they pushed all their chips in on the O-line and the running back. Do you think there's any coincidence that the running back and the O-line are destroyed? coming off of that historic year? How come nobody's going down that lane? Buck Edge, we need a cornerback 2. Trust me, Silz, CB2 now. Okay. Think about this. Let me go here with this asshole. I just told you. Here's what he says is a stupid take. Okay? You're 30th in rushing, falling out of the top 2. Landon Dickerson's had 2 injuries. Cam Jurgens is hurt all year and had back surgery and is a shell of himself. Barkley's averaging 2.9 yards a carry. And Mulata's not even the same. That's not theory, folks. That's fact. That's not a theory. So the O-line is hurting the whole defense. Yeah, the whole offense and the defense because of the 3 and outs. So I'm not sure about Barkley because they have a limited lifespan in the NFL. I agree on the O-line. Dude, Barkley has had 4 knee surgeries. 4 in his career. 4. He just came off of rushing for 460 carries. And you're going to try to fucking tell me you don't think that's wear and tear on a running back? Impressive for Jalen to be winning with one of the worst OCs, second worst run game, poorly ranked O-line, and below average defense. No super team excuses. No, you're right. Do it again. He won't. Move Coop outside. Well, they don't want to move Coop outside, or they would have already. By the way, Vic Fangio said what we said about Makuba. Called this play this year uneven. I know you guys have been glazing him, but he said his play's been uneven. I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit, though. He's a rookie. But it's been uneven. Have I been impressed with him? At times. Have I been underwhelmed with him? At times. I'm not saying one's greater than the other. I don't think he sucks more than I think it's just uneven. Like Vic said, I thought it was a perfect comment. He's uneven, and I agree with I'm awake or you. I think that's, rookie pains. That's right, Jeff. That's why I'm not wigging out on him. But he's the best you have back there. Get this. Gardner Johnson wasn't fucking uneven last year. He wasn't uneven. That could be more reps, get him better. Silz, I agree the wear and tear on Barkley was expected. The team mismanaged the line. By the way, they went into the draft, and what I don't get is instead of going in the high rounds, they went 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Why didn't you go somewhere 2, 3, 4 with drafting offensive linemen? If you were going to be a run football team this year, why didn't you make more of an assessment on? Well, that's because they gave up on so many guys on defense. I see what they did. They were caught in a hard place. They let all those guys go. They felt they had to retool them with the Timo signs. And no question about it. Howie's had a poor offseason. Okay. And I agree with this take. Worth it, Silz. If 24 is to blame, oh well. If you sell out for I agree with you. I agree. I'll push my chips in for a Super Bowl too. You're dead right. Curtis, if you're telling me I have to, like the Rams did a couple years ago, right? When they put the credit card on the table and then they pushed, then they pushed like their chips in. Yeah. No, you're right. You're better without him. Howie's a Hall of Famer, but failed miserably this offseason. 2 things can be true. Trek. Yes. Yes. Dude, nobody's saying he's a shitty GM. I'm saying he had a shitty year. Think about what I just said to you. I never told you that Howie Roseman's a shitty GM. I told you right now Howie had a shitty year. Says, I actually agree with Leon. Believe that CB2 is more of a need than an edge. Am I crazy? I think you could flip a coin on that, my friend. I really do. Okay. You know what? Here, just to show you something on the 5-2 crowd. I think that the 49ers 5-2 is fraudulent. I don't think they're a very good football team. Why? Because they played a shitty record or a schedule. I think they're fraudulent. Here, if I had to pick teams that I think are real, I'll pick my top 10 teams here in a minute. By the way, we do that every Tuesday. Lions, Packers, Seahawks, Eagles, Rams, that'd be about it in the NFC. In the AFC, I'm buying this Colts team. Patriots, they're not the two best. They're not the second best team in the AFC. Broncos, Steelers, Bills, There's really, hey, you know, the more and more I'm looking at it, would it be a shocker if the Chiefs repeated as AFC champions? I don't think so. Because when I look at that AFC, can the Chiefs beat the Jags? Yes. Can the Chiefs beat the Chargers? Yes. Can the Chiefs beat the Bills? Yes. Can they beat the Steelers, Broncos, Patriots, Colts? Yes. Having them back and winning the NFC or AFC, yeah. Silz, they haven't had Purdy, agree. Still, Mac Jones is playing great ball, though. Silz, you can't call the 49ers fraudulent because of a weak schedule and shit on us when we have the hardest schedule and we play 3 contenders. I'm not shitting on you. I said you're a good team just now. Did you not hear me? I'm telling you that you're playing C- ball. And the reason the other teams are close in the NFC is because you're playing C- ball. You're not playing to the best of your ability. Or do you think you are? My point has been that actually, that's a really good point you're making. I think the Eagles are playing C- football and they're still in it. And they're playing under their potential. Do you understand that's what this conversation's about? That you're not playing up to your potential? Do you think the offense is playing up to its potential, being 30th in the run game? I mean, do you? Who in their right mind would the Eagles think that they're playing up to their potential right now? Who would say that? Loss of Mackay was the worst decision. You don't have guards just move people the way they did. Hey, I'm going to tell you something about Steen. I heard Xander and everybody, John McMullen, saying he's actually playing well. Well, nobody in that O-line played well last year. They played exceptional. Well's not good enough when the center's not playing well and the other guard's hurt. So he's played well. Well, that's why the interior of the offensive line and you guys are getting destroyed in the middle of the offensive line. He's playing. Get this. See this? Cena's really a solid pass protector. Okay? He's a solid pass protector and a solid run guy. Last year, Beckham was exceptional. So was Cam. So was Lane. And the back was exceptional. Being solid, so you have a solid guy, a hurt center, and a guy who's in and out of the lineup, Landon Dickerson. There's your difference in your run game. You're not stout in the middle of your O-line anymore. Steen's okay. You know, and get this, when you're telling me Steen is playing the best of anybody inside, you got a problem. I just got through paying $40 million for those two guys. The center and the left guard, I'm paying $40 million combined. And you're telling me Steen's outplaying them? There's a problem. Do you not think that? No? How about this one, too? I got another theory. How much is the tush push taken out of the O-line? Nothing? Didn't Lane Johnson get hurt on the tush push this year with his neck? How much do you think that tush push has played a factor on the O-line? I don't think Steen sucks either. Not a conspiracy theory, asshole. It's a question. It's what we do here. It's called sports talk. Okay? How much do you think the tush push has played? Lane's been hurt. Here, let me go here. Lane missed the game. Cam had back surgery. And Landon's had 2 surgeries. Anything? Probably not. Well, then, okay, folks. I've given you some of my takes and theories. Why do you think the O-line blows? I'll wait. Since I'm the only one throwing these out, why does the O-line suck? I'll take anybody's thoughts. Oh, not everybody, because, well, Tooth, why is he playing? Because the guy's hurt? Okay. Injuries and age? Okay. Injuries and age? Okay. Definitely injuries. Okay. That's what I just fucking told you. I think the run game last year left us banged up, and it doesn't help that our guys came into a year limping. It's different launching to a D-line than taking that short step back. Correct. Okay? Too many miles on the O-line? Wear and tear? I just fucking told you guys this. Well, how do you think they got injured? How do you think they got injured? Short off season? That'll combine it. Lack of depth? Okay. Fred's back. Wait a minute. You got the same guy you had a year ago. Injuries from last year. Oh, you mean Landon having 2 off-season surgeries and Cam having back surgery? Wrong. Dickerson wasn't hurt in camp. Dickerson was hurt from the season. Silz, I'm screaming lack of depth. Okay? Landon hurt preseason. Juergens still recovering from last year. Steen's not Becton. There lies your issues. Oh, so wear and tear from 24. I got it. Funny. I guess it sounds better from you guys than when I say it. I got it. Which one? I've lost count of his injuries and his surgeries. He had 2 of them, Philly. Dickerson got hurt in open practice. Okay, so which one? He had 2 of them. He had 2 procedures done. I'm just curious. Which one? So the one in the open, What happened with the other procedure? Okay, so he got both of them. So he had both surgeries from practice. I thought he had, before he started, he had a procedure. I know he did. He had one. He had his surgery before camp and before the OTAs. I know he did. Dude, he had two of them. He had two surgeries. I mean, I got another one for you here, too. I got another one here. Let's see here. Then two. I got to figure out which one was the knee. Dickerson had two off-season procedures. One on his right meniscus in August of 2025 and at the beginning of camp on knee surgery. And by the way, let's not forget, it was also based off that 2024 injury he got in the NFC Championship game. So when the season ended, he had a procedure early in the year. You guys forgot about that. Remember, he's limping around after the 24 NFC Championship game. He played in the Super Bowl injured. Or you forgot that. Probably did. Fit the narrative, right? So these answers lead to a huge point. Left guard, center, right guard, all subpar in 25. So why the hell are we running up the middle? It's a great question. It's a great question. Dickerson was injury prone in college. I think he was injured at Florida State too. Then I believe, if I'm not right, I know Xander knows this. I think he was injured. He didn't play in the national title game, right? They had him go out there ceremoniously, and he took some snaps because they had so much respect for him, right? How he signed all those guys to long-term deals. Well, long-term 3 years. Yes. Okay. From the 25 rushing season. Yes. Just wondering how limited Jalen Hurts is now, Silz. Very limited. What? You think one game changes a narrative on your passing attack? He's very limited. Ask your wide receiver who's bitching on social media about it. Not me. Why don't you ask AJ? First two games, the Eagles mainly ran behind the right guard. Okay? It's just the nature of the game. How he should have been prepared for this. He wasn't. It's simple physics. Take two huge guys and have them charge each other. Injuries were bound to happen. Okay? Agreed. Let's see. Can it be possible they relieve Stoutman of his running game? No, absolutely not. Dude, Jeff Stoutman's not the problem. It's the talent on the football team. They're injured. They're older. They took a beating a year ago. You know when people say a fighter shot, guy looks fast, it's about taking punches. I'm going to give you, I told, and I showed the people in Tampa this morning this about Baker Mayfield and why he shit the bed last night. Baker Mayfield has not had his receivers for the last 4 weeks, and they were 5-1 going into that game. Baker's limping now. I don't know what his availability is for this Saints game on Sunday. They could drop that bitch too. And so this is what I said to them. You know, indulge me here. A hammer hitting a nail. Eventually, the nail head breaks. It just breaks. That's what football is. I don't have to hit it any harder than that. Eventually, it's going to break. Some bodies physically, and they could take it longer. I had a doctor explain this to me. It's like your head concussions. Eventually, it breaks. When you play that kind of volume football, like the Eagles do, you can be a fighter, look great, still have speed. You get into a fight and you get knocked out, you can't take the punches you once could. That's facts. Brown knows that if he was on the Browns, he'd have 1,800 yards this year. But instead, he's locked at 1,000 as an Eagle. That's why he hates the offense and the quarterback. Again, like I said, he doesn't hate Jalen personally. He just hates the guy's skill set. Imagine this, the guy threw a perfect game, and he still hates the quarterback's skill set. Not me talking. That's your star receiver talking. Right? Silz, I rehab MCLs and meniscus all day. Surgery very rarely helps. Only rest. Yeah, you're not going to get. That old line's not going to get healthy until next year. Till next year. Absolutely. You're not getting healthy. Silz, they are not 3-year deals because because of the void years. Sure. Okay. All right. I agree. All right. Phenomenal. So let me take a look at that again. Oh, by the way, Vic spoke up. Let's go to Vic before we go to Xander here. Let's see what Vic had to say about his defense. Cam and Lannon should have gotten surgery during the offseason. I think they're better off sitting on the couch for a month. Doctors are way too quick to put people under the knife. Whew. That is a brutal but true way. So let's take a look at what Vic said about his defense. There's Vic Fangio. I like when Vic talks. You know why? It shuts you motherfuckers up. Because he pretty much says what I say. Silz, coming into this year, how come the tackles weren't as banged up as the interior? Because Barkley got most of his yards off guard. I mean, they didn't really run a lot of stretch plays. So let's see what Vic had to say. I love listening to Vic. Here you go. Can BG help? We'll see. I got to see where he is. I don't know. We'll see. This is the CEO of the defense. We'll see. Who knows? There you go, Sue. I don't know. So you bring a guy out of retirement, and you don't know if he can help. Okay. Was there a lot of talk? And did you encourage Brandon Graham? Well, every time I bumped into him every now and then, I kind of teased him about, calling it a career. Didn't really answer the question. He never talked to him about coming back. He should just give him some jabs when he saw him a couple times. Vic Fangio told you, he never talked to him about coming back. This is Howie. Okay, I mean, hey, by the way, all you got to do is listen to the press conference. Jahad Campbell. How do you think he played on the edge? How I thought. You know what that means? Mistakes. Some things good, some things bad. They put him out there, and that's what it was. Some things good, some things bad. Jacorian Bennett. How we made a trade for that guy? Use draft equity too, right, to get him? Will he play Sunday? We'll see. I don't know. I got to see where he is. Okay? I didn't realize Nakobe Dean had 30 snaps. That's a lot. I did not realize that. They played him spotty. I thought he was a missile. And you saw the difference in run defense with him in there. I'm going to tell you this, man. Jahad Campbell is not the run defender Nakobe Dean is. It is evident. Sorry. I know you don't want to hear this, but that guy is not better than Dean. He is not better. You're playing a guy. You better get Dean up to speed because your run defense will improve with Nakobe in there. You need to put Nakobe in there. Jahad Campbell is not as good a run defender. I'm not saying he won't be, but he is not better than Dean as a run defender. When that fucker was in there, you saw the difference in gap defense and integrity. I mean, he was a missile running to the ball. Most of those tackles he made behind the line of scrimmage, you could see it, man. You felt it in the run defense. No. Hey, I got it. I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying Dean's better right now. Absolutely. Hey, so did everybody else. And by the way, for the record, Gabe, he won't be here next year. He won't be. But when he's in, he can play. By the way, he won't be here because you can't count on him because he's always injured. Silz thinks Campbell should be Mike Singletary. That's not what I said, douchebag. I said right now, Dean's a better run defender. Stop fucking moaning over these players. Who gives a shit? Play the best guy. You guys fucking marry these guys like they're your sons. Who gives a shit? Play the best guy. As a GM, I get you can't sign everybody, but I think you would have wanted to have as much talent on your roster at every position, including backups, correct? Totally agree. Dean plays great against the run. Vic has to get Campbell up to speed on the edge. I think so too. I did. I heard that, what he said. This is what happens when you throw me the fucking ball. And I saw his post today. Guy hates his quarterback. Silz, can you clarify when you say our offense is limited because of Hurts, but Hurts was successful with the RPO offense at 22, with not Brian Johnson, with Shane Steichen somewhat in 23. Then last year on our Super Bowl run, he was a non-factor in the pass game in 2023. The pass game was limited a year ago. Hurts is limited. You put the ball in his hands to give him the decision-making and that RPO, I think he's a weapon. You put him in the pocket, you're going to have the 27th ranked offense in football. And that's what you are right now. You're the 27th ranked offense. Dean has always been a run stuffer. Campbell is growing as an OLB. He's only played the position for a couple of years. If you're suggesting, once again, this is what happens when, again, you have inexperienced football fans not listening to what I'm saying. I didn't tell you that Jihad Campbell doesn't have more upside than what Dean will have one day. Right now, that day ain't here. Dean's a better run defender. Now, the question would be, the reason why you play Campbell would be this. You're not in base that much. You're in nickel and dime. 69.7% of the time, you're in nickel and dime, which means you're in third down personnel. That's why it was tough to get Jacoby on the field in base. They put him in some third down situations. But when it comes to the run defense, I'm playing him on first and second down. I think he's a force. Silz, I think the Eagles should play 34 defense. I think it would fit the personnel better. You know, I mentioned this by having, your 4 linebackers. Okay? Campbell, Dean, Bond. Maybe more so this. I mentioned, I think, the 34 or the 43, I'm sorry. You put those guys in there like that. You put those 3 on the field. I don't know how you don't look at, if you had those guys in the middle of the field, Campbell, Dean, and Bond, that's better than Makuba and Blankenship in the back end of your defense. And even this, what's better, do you think, in the front end of your zone? Dean, Bond, Campbell. In the back end, it's Cooper, Makuba, and Reed. I'd rather have those 3 guys in front of the zone. I mean, I'd rather have those 2 dudes, those 3 guys on the field. Okay? I think your 49ers, I think they're well coached right now. By the way, can somebody tell me how many sacks Bryce Huff has right now? If they get Max Crosby, the Cowboys, that'll be an indictment, in my opinion, that Jerry fucked up that Michael Parsons deal. Okay? He Silz, it sounded like AJ said they didn't want to throw me the fucking ball. What the fuck is that? Yeah, he doesn't like the offense, and that's a reflection on the quarterback. Everyone knows that. Dude, he hates the offense. Bro, they ain't getting Crosby. I don't know why the Cowboy fans are hyping that up. Adam Schefter reported it, that the Cowboys are in talks with the Philadelphia or with the Las Vegas Raiders about the potential of landing Max Crosby. It's not just bullshit. Trust me, if it's in the news Cowboys are going after Crosby, it's definitely not happening. I don't know about that. I don't think Adam Schefter reports shit like that. Silz. No. Dude, give your guy a chance to grow. Campbell's not playing poorly. Dean's just a better run stopper. He's better in the run defense. Dude, I don't know how you didn't notice the difference. Use your eyeball test. You telling me you didn't see the difference with him out there in the run game? Or is it, again, you're falling in love with your fucking players again? I don't give a shit about the name on the back of the jersey. Who's the best ball player to go out there and make plays? Guy fucking played. I mean, you could see the difference in the right? Then you got Crosby, Nolan, and BG. I'm liking it. Nolan Smith. Yeah, okay. You like Nolan Smith? We'll see if Nolan Smith can get through the rest of the year. when he comes back. I think they can open his window this week, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? All right? I mean, I do. Silz, I would give up one for Max. I wouldn't. For Max Crosby, the Cowboys are desperate. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not desperate. Well, I don't know. The Brandon Graham signing is desperate to me. So, Big Silz, you're telling me how he moved at edge is to bring a 38-year-old. I don't know. I don't know how that makes you better. Bryce Huff has 4 sacks. Whew. Wow. That's got to be double any edge numbers right now for the Eagles. Is that right? That sounds about right. It would be more than just a third, though. Because I think Crosby, isn't he 30? I mean, I think Max Crosby's like 29, 30. 29, 30. I mean, I think he's really a good football player. I mean, if I had to put him in the conversation, Aiden Hutchinson's better than him. He's not in the upper echelon, guys. He's a little better than Danielle Hunter. He's 30. He's 28. Well, that's a little better. He's 28. That's a 2 then. I would go second round. Now, remember, the money you got to pay him, too. He just signed a contract extension. That's big money. Shields, do you believe BD is conditioned to play? I believe that he's probably in shape, but in football shape, play shape, that's a different thing. There's a different, get this, guys. You could run 28 miles and not be in shape for a football game. It's different. Okay? It's just different. By the way, Keith Byers is going to join us. I'm going to ask him about running backs getting worn out. Okay? I am. I'm going to ask him on what kind of wear and tear something like that has on a body. All right? Yeah, no, Abe, you're not getting anybody from the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are coming. They're an improved football team this year. They're getting better defensively. And the kid Pierce they got and the kid Walker they got from Georgia, they're starting to play well. Raheem Morris has done a nice job down there. Okay, they really have. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. you can. I don't know what to say about your Eagles, man. They give you all kinds of shit, man, to talk about. You know what you could basically do? You could fucking sit here all day long, and every 20 minutes, the Eagles got something new. Someone's talking shit on somebody. They're making a trade. And, hey, and they bring out Mr. Nostalgia himself. It's fucking great. You know what? I got notes I will not get to today because there's so many good topics. It's fucking fantastic. All right. By the way, we'll read all super chats. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who welcomed Brandon Graham himself back to the Philadelphia Eagles, my man, Big Z. Xander Krause joins us.
What's up, Big Silz? How you doing, brother?
I am doing fantastic. I think for the fans today, man, that was awesome for Brandon Graham. But here's my topic question to you. Are the Eagles better as a defense with Brandon Graham?
Incrementally. I mean, he's not going to do that much. He's 37 years old. But, Silz, hear me out. Who do you feel better about? Brandon Graham or Azeez Ojulari? Or Obo Okoronkwo?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just, and I know these
this decision could have been made in February then.
I agree. But look, I'm mad at the organization for this, and I was mad at them when they did it. Brandon Graham didn't want to retire. Brandon Graham wanted to come back. Brandon Graham was willing to take a veteran minimum to be on this team. Instead, Howie decided to sign $14 million Timu signings, none of which have worked out. a bunch of dusty edge rushers that have done shit for this team, Uche and Ojulari and Obo and all these Patrick Johnsons, and they didn't want to give BG a roster spot. So, it was a joke the way they handled it, but BG last year had 4 sacks, 21 pressures, 79.3 PFF grade, and he was ranked 20th out of edge rushers in the NFL. So, look, I'm not saying that's a reason to put a bunch of stock in him. I just think for 10, 15 snaps, I don't think he had nothing left in the tank. I don't think he was done and down and out when he retired. I felt like he was a guy that retired, who could still contribute to some extent. Obviously, the business gets in the way. And, I don't think it's the end-all fix, but I'm happy to have BG back. I love BG back. We could use a little BG energy around this team right now, I think.
Okay, well then, don't you think a 37-year-old guy with the injuries that you saw at the Rams game and then you saw in the Super Bowl,
yeah.
Do you magically think a 37-year-old guy is going to all of a sudden find the fountain of middle age and just all of a sudden be healthy for you? Now, again,
but
limited snaps.
I don't know. How do you view a tricep injury? Like, do you view that as more of a kind of a freak injury or an age injury? Like, Nolan's got one too. I'm like, what's up with all our edge rushers getting tricep injuries? Because if you look at BG's career, with the exception of 21, where he had I forget, it was Achilles or ACL, I forget what it was for BG. He's been a healthy player. He's played a lot of snaps in his career. So, I don't know. I mean,
I think it's an old man's injury.
I don't think Brandon Graham's going to go down.
I think it's an old man's injury.
Really? Nolan Smith ain't an old man.
I think he's a fragile, small, undersized player.
Yeah, thanks. It was Achilles. I figured that. I thought that. Well, look, if something happens, I'm certainly not letting this sour my thought.
No. Listen.
No, but I've seen that said of like, oh, if it doesn't work out, it's just going to tarnish Brandon. I'm like, tarnish Brandon Graham. He's been here for 15 fucking years,
Bro, that guy's legacy is set. There's nothing that can
locked in.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's over. That's not –
I don't know
like saying if Brady came back and threw 18 picks in a row, that'll taint his legacy. What are you, crazy? That's not –
Wait, think about it, though. Think about this. BG, and I get it. He's coming off the tricep, and I know he's 37, and sometimes business gets in the way. He was the 20th ranked edge graded in football last year. He had 4 sacks in 13 games. He had 21 pressures on 324 snaps. Instead of giving that guy the vet minimum to fill out he could be the 53 man on the roster for all I give a shit. You got dudes out there who couldn't sniff, even get dressed the first 6 weeks as Ojulari. I mean, that's what Howie. So for all the people who say it's a money thing, it's not a fucking. Stop buying the Eagles PR bullshit. They wanted to pay Micah Parsons $47 million.
And Myles Garrett, they wanted him too.
$47 million for Micah. You're telling me that we couldn't give Brandon Graham a couple million? Come on, man. They let him walk out the door, and everything Howie did after that did not work. This is one of the worst offseasons I've ever seen Howie Roseman have.
Again, he's a Hall of Fame GM. He's just having a brutal offseason. Or a brutal year, actually, to the point. So
I think the draft was okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Vic didn't have very high praise about Makuba today.
Well, that's because Makuba's boom or bust. He either makes a big play or he gets absolutely burnt.
Uneven.
Yeah, watch that.
Now,
Was that what Vic used? I didn't even see the
uneven. He used the word uneven.
I didn't see the press uneven. I'll watch it later.
Again, rookie. I'm okay. If you think you're going to find Cooper DeJean and Q every year in the draft, you're out of your mind.
No, but I think Campbell looks like a good pick.
Yeah.
And it's probably early to say that. It's early to say that on anybody in this draft class.
I'm putting Dean in there on the run, man. That guy's he is a better run defender than Campbell, right? It's not a rip on Campbell. He's just not ready yet.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Dean he was a missile in there, dude. Now, this thing with BG, does this now force Howie Roseman to have to make a trade on November 4th? Because if that's your fix for edge, dude, that's not a fix.
I agree with that.
Does it raise the stakes a little higher that you're talking to Kid Phillips? And
you think we're going to learn a little bit about what Howie thinks of this team by the trade deadline?
Say again?
You think we're going to learn a little bit about what Howie thinks of this roster and this team at the trade deadline?
I do.
Like, if he doesn't make a move,
lights up right now, and I think he is I think he's second guessing. Now, look, you know what I'm
Yeah,
going
but
to
no, my point was more like if he doesn't make a move, does he think that we're not competing this year? Or if he makes a move, does that tell you, all right, let's go for it?
couple ways to look at it. That's ego talking too if they don't make a move because he thinks that the roster's good enough. And you know that's how they believe in a lot of ways, that they believe that they have the personnel in the building. Now, if he starts making moves, here's where I'm going to give him credit, where most GMs won't. If you recognize your mistakes, Xander, and you don't sit on them like a lot of teams do, and you go try to rectify the mistakes that you made, I'll give him massive kudos for that. Hey, I fucked up at the edge. I just went and got Phillips. Hey, I fucked up at corner. Hey, I just went and made a move and got the kid Ward out of Cleveland. I mean, dude, if he does that, you know, a lot of GMs won't do that. They won't
a lot
address
of evaluations were off too. I mean, they wanted Jalix Hunt to, to develop.
He's actually started showing up a little more the last
But
couple
it's not
weeks.
this year, bro.
No, it's not.
It's not this year. This guy, he wasn't ready to be the number
No.
2 edge rusher this year.
No, he wasn't. No.
Well, that's what he was coming into the year.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a misadventure. So there's some of it is you need these young guys to develop, and if they're not ready to develop, but look, that's part of the reason you ripped them for taking a developmental guy in round 3 because you need round 3 guys to play quickly. Well, now you have a developmental guy who looks like he's got high upside, but isn't quite putting it all together yet, which, by the way, we should all be ready for. The kid started playing end 2-3 years ago. He was playing safety at Cornell like 4 years ago, this guy. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man.
Who do you think's hurt the team more this year, Kevin Patullo or Howie Roseman?
Well, Howie didn't reload the defense, but Bobo Patullo is getting nothing out of this $245 million offense. So
okay.
I'm going to have to go with if the offense was performing like a top 5 unit, what would we be saying about this team?
Kevin Patullo would be getting a job in the next coming coaching cycle.
All right, that's fine. I'm just saying, where would we be as a team right now for this year?
If you were top 5?
Yeah.
That defense would be improved then too because they'd be off the field more.
Yeah.
You'd probably be the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I'm with Dawood. Push.
Take
them both. Take them both. They both are doing a shit job. I don't know. The one thing about Patullo is I just don't think he's giving you an advantage. Like there's this dude on Twitter, The Honest NFL, and I like him because he worked in the NFL front offices for a long time. He was with the Eagles for a little bit, and he put up this thing today about how impressive the coaching staff is in Indianapolis and how good Shane Steichen is this year, day in and day out, week in and week out for that team and having them prepped and the game plan is spot on and he's got Daniel Jones, nowhere to go with the ball, all these different things. And I'm like, boy, we don't get any of that from our coaches. Say what you want. I mean, people can blame Jalen. People can blame all the – we don't get any advantage from our coaching staff offensively. None.
Too
None
many
from
roosters,
Nick.
Too many roosters in the henhouse.
Yeah, but even the head roosters, I mean, Nick was hired. I heard his quote, and again, this isn't going to translate perfectly, but the principle and the premise of it applies. It was Steve Sarkisian at a podium this week, I think it was. He's the head coach of Texas football. They're obviously struggling right now to live up to the expectation they had with Arch Manning and all these different things. So a reporter asked him, "Do you think you should give up play calling? You got a lot of other things to manage, recruiting and the team and all these different things. You think you'd be better at the other stuff if you gave up play calling?" And he said, "I was hired to be a play caller. I was hired because I was a good play caller. What do you think I got? That's why I got hired. Why would I give up play calling? That's why Texas hired me." And you think back on Nick, and you're like, boy, this guy was hired as an offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he provide from – I'm not talking about basic offensive concepts. I'm talking about an advantage at the pro level, which is hard to do. You got to be a rare offensive mind to be able to give an advantage at the pro level. I'm not saying it's easy, but we were sold that as the bill of goods when we hired Nick. Now, is that on Nick? Is that on the quarterback? Is that on the offense? Is it on Patullo? I don't know where you want to put it. But I don't necessarily see that offensive advantage being given to us by our coaching staff, either of them, Nick or Kellen or Kevin.
I agree. I completely agree. Got another one here for you. So, how much do you think the 2024 season affected the O-line? Let's just do this. Let's just take Barkley out of this. So, Landon Dickerson has had 2 offseason procedures. Your center's had a back surgery. Steen has been good, but Steen is more finesse than what Becton was.
Steen's not a bully in the run game.
Right. So that whole entire internal part inside, by the way, Mulata at times has not been Mulata. And then also, too, the tush push. How much has that affected the wear and tear of this offensive line? You think it's not Barkley that got worn down? Do you think the offensive line has got worn out?
Absolutely. I mean, what's the barometer to answer this question? A scale of 1 through 10? Is it an A, B, C, D?
Last year, you were second in rushing. Now you're 30th.
No, I'm saying, how should I answer it? Is it a scale of 1 through 10? I'm putting it at 10. I mean, it ruined the offensive line by all accounts. Not ruined them, but, they can't run the ball. I mean, people were mad at Drew Brees today. I get a kick out of this stuff. Eagles fans, I love you, but sometimes you guys drive me nuts where it's like, Drew Brees threw for 80,000 pass yards in the NFL. You think he doesn't know football?
500 touchdowns.
Really, do we think Drew Brees doesn't know football? Same thing with Cam Newton. All these Eagles fans, Cam Newton's an idiot. I'm like, is he? Is he really an idiot? He went first overall. He won an MVP. I mean, come on, he's one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the modern era, especially, for a dual threat quarterback. So just because he doesn't glaze Jalen Hurts doesn't make him a dumbass. But Drew Brees is talking about this, and how do you have the weapons on this team with a dual threat quarterback, and they're the 30th rushing offense right now, dude? That is crazy. That is crazy. So the offensive line ain't holding up. It's fair at this point. I'm not going there yet because every time I watch the tape, Barkley's getting shredded in the backfield. It's fair for somebody to say, though, Barkley lost a step. It is. I'm not going to say it because I think it's more of the offensive line. But you and John are both now getting to the camp of, I think Barkley lost it a little bit. I don't know if Barkley lost it.
4 knee surgeries, 460 carries, a banged-up O-line.
He doesn't look slow to me. He doesn't look slow.
I gave you the boxing analogy on a shot fighter. He could train all he wants, get into a fight. It's this, Xander. You can have all the speed, but this, look. Don't you think eventually all them hits, you can't get hit any longer. You go down easier. You could be the healthiest guy on the planet. You could run 40 still at 4.5. But you get hit, you go down.
It does look like he goes down a little easier this year.
And you're right. LOS 36% of the time. Last year, again, I mean, okay, well, it's either the
Dawood's right there. You see that lane last night for Gibbs? By the way, that was the fastest run in 3 seasons.
That fucking boy, I couldn't have been more wrong about that guy, Jameer Gibbs.
I knew he was
play.
He did that.
Holy shit, can he play?
Dude, 22 miles an hour he hit. He didn't get touched. There was not an opposing.
He outran pursuit.
Yeah, there was not a team. There was not an opposing play. They're not a player on that Buck defense that touched him on that run. That is crazy. Up the middle, up the B gap or whatever the hell it was.
He fucking was he had like 80 yards catching too, like on 3 catches.
He's a crazy good player.
He is a crazy good back, man.
Yes,
holy shit. Oh, wait. Now I have to get to my golden goose.
I know
gem.
I know where you're going.
My gem.
Surprised you didn't start with the golden goose today.
I know. You know what though, man? I'm a big saver on the golden goose for the middle to the end here. AJ, I'm just gonna do this. Xander, AJ Brown, respond.
I'm getting kind of tired of it. I think he's trolling though. Honestly, AJ. I think he's trolling the media.
The media.
Yeah, I think.
Why?
Because I think he knows that no matter what he posts, people are going to run with it, and I think he's having a little bit of fun with it. And
at the expense of the quarterback.
What do you mean?
Dude, the only people are going to think that's aimed at is the QB. and the offense. He's already said Kevin Patullo's, and he's endorsed him. He's backed him. He said,
well,
hey,
let's be real here, because everybody keeps saying this. I'm just going to set a record straight. For everybody saying that A.J. Brown, had a big game, he didn't really. He had 4 catches. He had 2 touchdowns. They were beautiful splash plays, but hear me out. He had 4 catches in the game. 2 of them were off schedule. The touchdown throw was off schedule. Jalen pointed to go to the end zone. And the 3rd and 15 where Jalen scrambled to the outside, and he hit AJ on a comeback because it was a broken play. AJ wants to be, I think, in rhythm on the offense. AJ wants play designs for him. AJ wants, an on-schedule offense coming up. Now, I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying I don't think the 4 catches are doing what it did for AJ that people think. 4 fucking catches. I mean, look, come on. That's not that many catches. I know he had 120 yards, but so I think maybe he's still bitching, but I do think he's trolling. I think he's just having fun with it now. I mean, what is he doing?
Every week.
What's he doing? Why would he tweet that? Or post that, whatever the hell it was.
Every week.
That's what I mean. I think he's trolling. Big Trag says he's trolling us. You think he's trolling us, Big Trag?
Why do I care? I don't give a shit. I care more about him who he's trolling, not him doing it. Why is he taking shots? I think it's taking shots at the quarterback.
Well,
I think he hates you. Just said it. You just said it. He hates the offense he's in.
He probably does, doesn't he?
Yes. Yes.
I said this in the Discord earlier. I said this in the group chat earlier. I'm like, Randy Moss, no ring. Megatron, no ring. Terrell Owens, no ring. Bro, receivers don't give a shit about rings. They don't. They want the football.
They care about the bag, and they care about the numbers.
The stats. Because, look, that's how they're remembered in this league. That's how you
right.
are. But, so I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's trolling. I don't know what to make of this one. It was kind of a weird, what was the exact quote again? Let me look it up. Let me go look at AJ's
Keep
post.
the main thing the main thing.
No, it wasn't. main thing. He said, using me but not using me.
What the fuck? What is he, Socrates?
What does that mean?
I don't fuck with it right. Help me out of here.
Let me like that shit. I'm gonna like it and comment it. Get this man the ball.
Oh my God, dude. Keep the main thing the main thing. Hey,
you know what? Wait, you know what's an interesting storyline here that's happening this year?
Yeah.
I messed my camera. Devontae Smith is wide receiver 1.
Well, eventually that was going to happen.
Devontae Smith is wide receiver 1 this year. I think it happened. Bro.
Maybe that's why AJ's pissed.
Devontae has 38 receptions for 504 yards. He's got 5 less targets than AJ.
Yeah, but dude, he got 186 yards in one game. I mean, let's be real.
All right, AJ had 120 last game, so he had more than AJ coming into that game too.
Okay. I mean, well, here, since we're there, let's go there. You tell me what this sounds like. So here's the Eagle offense. You're 26th after 7 games and 28 quarters of football. You're 22nd in passing. You're 30th in the run game. You're 14th in scoring. You're first in red zone. And on third down, you're 27th. On defense, you're 23rd in defense. You're 19th in pass defense. You're 22nd in run defense. You're 20th in scoring defense. You're third again in red zone. This is where you're 5-2. Red zone offense, red zone defense.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're third in getting off the field. You're 26th. How do you think you played in 28 quarters?
This is a scary team, man. If this team can, I think they're a C+. And if they get to a B+, they might never lose again. They're 5-2. They got. I mean, look. Here's the thing.
So you think they're not teetering? You think they're just
look? They could be teetering. You can look at it 2 ways. The way Big Silz is going to look at it is probably going to be they're teetering. The way I'm looking at it is this team has a knack for winning football games, dude. Most games in the NFL are 1-score games, Silz. Most games.
Okay.
The Eagles have won all their games by 1 score or less. This team has a knack for winning football games. Now, if they're able to play, I'm being completely honest. I don't think they're playing their best ball or anything close to it. They had a good game last week, but still, you needed a great game from Jalen, a perfect game from Jalen to squeak by the Vikings. This team ain't as good as it was a year ago. If that's where you're going with the stats, then I agree. Defense isn't as good. Run game's not as good. Pass game is still what it is. I mean, this team is not as good, but that's why I said Jalen's got to be an MVP week in and week out. If this team is going to go the distance, they're going to need Jalen to be an MVP. And the other thing you can't leave out is, dude, if we beat a bunch of stiffs, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. We beat the Rams. We beat the Bucks. We beat the Chiefs. We're beating good programs.
You sound like 23 again.
Yeah, we beat the Bills. We beat the Chiefs that year. We beat a bunch of good teams. Yeah, I don't think we're 23. If we were 23, we would have lost that Vikings game.
Everything you just said sounded. And how about this here? You've shown no history of balance to what you say. You've shown no, except for 22. You've shown no history of balance the last 2 years. And you're giving them the benefit because they won the Super Bowl in February, right?
I'm going to read you something Kurt Warner put out today.
Okay.
Kurt Warner is excellent, by the way, on Twitter. For anybody who's over on X.
You've had him on.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah. Kurt Warner's been on this. Yeah.
Have you? I don't remember having Kurt on.
Are you crazy, my friend?
Bro, I remember all your
You've
guests.
had so many great people.
I remember every one of them.
Okay, you don't remember. I just forgot.
We've had Kurt twice. No, once. In May of 21, your first year doing the show.
I forgot to get, you know what? I just haven't called him. We'll try to
get him on,
tomorrow.
bro, please. So he put this out today. Look at that, Sileo, man. That damn, I can't believe I forgot. I never forget your guest. All right, let me pull it up, though. So this is what Kurt Warner put out today. Somebody tweeted to Kurt and said, Kurt, forgive me if you spoke on this already. What do you think about the Eagles' offense? Do you believe the problem lies with the play caller or execution? One of my favorite QBs of all time, by the way. Appreciate what you did for the game. And this is Kurt's response. Kurt says, the hard part is their pass game has been simple concepts for years. They have built it to take advantage of teams that leave one-on-one on the outside because they have to stop the run. So now they are struggling to run, and they don't have this innovative pass game to fall back on. And I'm not sure that's JH's strength. So you either have to get back to running the ball or recreate your identity, but that's not easy to do in season. And I think that synopsis sums up.
That's my take for 4 years. That's my take for 4 years. There's simple concepts. It's not a high-powered offense. He could never run John Gruden's offense. That's not what it is. They're go routes. Bro, I knew you were going to throw that ball to A.J. Brown sitting on my fucking couch going, why would you leave him open? I mean, why are you leaving that guy open? And right now, you don't have to fear the run game because they're not going anywhere with the run game. Xander, they don't get that run game going. They're not going anywhere.
Look at Joe. I love Joe. Xander be switching up more than Silz. Joe, it's the team.
That's right.
The only reason I switch up is because the team. They're night and day, week in and week out, Joe.
That's right.
You hear me? I do a talk show every day. You sit in your mom's basement. Sit down and shut the fuck up, Joe Ho. All right? You don't get to broadcast your thoughts every day. When you broadcast every day on sports, you're bound to go back and forth.
No.
You get new information.
Going back and forth because the team isn't. You know why the takes are inconsistent? The team's inconsistent.
So the only thing stupider than this comment is getting new information and not evolving your opinion. That's the only thing stupider than what Joe Ho's saying.
That's right.
I know, Joe Ho. I know you're just messing. He's always in here fucking messing. Joe Ho. His name is Joe Ho. What should I expect from Joe Ho?
Joe Ho. No,
yeah, exactly.
All right. So I wrote down. Here they are. I got my top 10 teams. I do it every Tuesday. Are you ready?
Chiefs are winning the AFC.
Hey, you know what? They might.
Who the hell is in the AFC?
Wait a second.
Conference.
Here's right there. Listen, way too early. Xander, here is the playoff picture. If it right now, Colts 1, Patriots 2, Broncos 3, Steelers 4, Bills 5, Chiefs 6, Jaguars 7. The Chiefs aren't even in the playoffs. They're on the bubble. Here's the NFC. Packers 1, Niners 2, Eagles 3, Bucks 4, Lions 5, Seahawks 6, Rams 7. What do all those teams have in common? They're all 5-2. Except the Packers, because they got that bullshit tie with the Cowboys. Okay? All right. Here's my top 10 teams.
All right, I'm going to give you mine too.
Okay? Number 10, the New England Patriots. I have a 10.
All right.
Number 9, I like your take yesterday, so I'm adding it.
Which one? Which was what?
The Seahawks are at number 9. Number 8, I got the Kansas City Chiefs at number 8. Number 7, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At number 6, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
At number 5, now this is to this point, I've got the Denver Broncos. At number 4, I've got the Green Bay Packers. At number 3, I've got the Los Angeles Rams. At number 2, I've got the Lions. And I can't believe what I'm going to tell you right here. I got the fucking Colts number 1, dude.
Okay, I got the Lions one.
Okay.
Dude, did you see that Lions defense last night? And they were banged up everywhere. They were missing Brian Branch in that game. That defense plays physical, fast, physical, aggressive. They had Baker Mayfield in jail last night.
Dude,
by the way, he played like shit.
Totally. He was terrible.
Yeah, he played like shit last night.
He was absolutely terrible.
Now, I will say this. For anybody who was watching the trenches in that game, that Bucs O-line was getting murdered.
Hey, so was the D-line.
I know. But I'm speaking specifically about Baker, that O-line, that right tackle, boy, that guy, he must have ice bathed all night because Aiden Hutchinson was just
he was limping after the game.
Aiden Hutchinson just destroyed that guy last night.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie Heck got crushed last night.
Oh my God. That was his name, Charlie Heck. He got annihilated in that game.
He was just crushed last night.
Remember when we talked about Hutchinson yesterday with the car? Yeah, they're gonna pay him.
Well, you know what? They picked up his 5th year. They didn't give him a 3-year contract extension. They picked up the 5th year because I think it had a lot to do with the injury. You know, I mean, yeah, Mayfield got destroyed. It was tough to see Mike Evans go out like that. Clavicle injury. He's probably lost for the remainder of the year. Plus, he had a concussion. Gibbs was just spectacular, though. So let me hear your 10.
All right, I'm doing this off the top of my head, just kind of looking at the list. So I'm going to rattle off who I think is easily in mine. This is not in order yet. All right, Colts are obviously in mine.
It's okay.
Chiefs are going to be in mine. Eagles are going to be in mine. Packers are going to be in mine. They're going to be a little lower. Rams are going to be in mine. Detroit, Seattle, New England, Tampa. And I think right on the outside, probably is Buffalo in yours?
No.
They're falling quick. Is Denver in yours?
I got them 5th.
Denver 5th?
Got Denver 5th.
I don't like that for you, bro. Their last 2 wins are massive comebacks on 2 NFC East teams who did. Eagles did not play their best game, and the New York Giants had them dead to rights, and they collapsed.
I love that defense.
The defense is good. Nick Bonito and all those guys, Pat Surtain.
They are awful good on defense, brother.
I think San Fran's right on the outside looking in for me. You lose Bosa and Warner, it's hard for me to think that defense is going to be able to prevail in the long term. Chicago, that's a team I was right about. Well, it's early, but that's a team I said in the offseason might turn the page a little or turn the corner a little bit.
Yep.
So I'm feeling good about that take. Pittsburgh's right on the outside looking in. You know who I think is broken into my top 15, and Eagles fans are going to hate this. Well, no, not my top 15. Probably top 18, though. Top 16, 17, Dallas.
Dallas is getting better.
that offense is just so good, dude. I mean, you got to tip your hat when you watch good football. I mean, that offense is a good offense, dude. I mean, they can run the ball right now. Javonte Williams is second in the NFL in rushing yards. CeeDee Lamb's making plays. George Pickens is making plays. Jake Ferguson is making plays. Dak Prescott's lights out right now. I mean, that's a good team. So, all right, let's put these in order. Number one, I'm going to go – I said Lions, but didn't the Chiefs thrash the Lions?
Yeah, Sunday night.
I can't put the Chiefs one.
Why not?
Because I don't think they're the best team.
Don't go by records, man. Records are irrelevant in this. Who do you, with your eyeball test, do you? By the way,
I haven't watched every Chiefs snap.
Hey, I'm telling you not to do one. I got a eighth.
All right, I'm gonna go Detroit 1, Indy 2, Chiefs 3. I'm gonna go Eagles 4. I'm gonna go Rams 5, Packers 6. I like Rams above Packers. New England 7, Seattle 8, Tampa 9, and Buffalo 10.
No Seattle?
I had Seattle.
Okay.
I had Seattle above Tampa.
Okay.
I think they're a better team right now.
Well, they beat them last week.
Yeah.
No, Tampa beat them.
Tampa beat them. I know.
Isn't it funny? All these teams, these 5-2 teams, have one of those shitty losses. Everybody's got
and they've all lost to each other in a way.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. Yes.
Who did Indy lose to this year?
Jags. Didn't they lose to the Jags early?
Is that who Indy
lost to the Browns? They lost to They lost to a team.
No, they didn't lose to the Browns.
I thought it was the Jags.
They lost to the Rams.
Oh, okay.
They lost to the Rams.
Dude,
all right, I think I feel good. I think I feel all right about my 10. I mean, it's not perfect, but off the top of my head, I think it's pretty close to where I'd be with it. Right on the outside, I have Denver, I have San Fran, I have Chicago, Pittsburgh. How about Baltimore this year? Whew. Holy crap. It's like Baltimore falls off the face of the earth, and the AFC looks like there's nobody over there.
Isn't that crazy? But Bengals and the Ravens are teams that people were circling at the beginning of the year. Dude, they're going to be in the top 5 picks of the draft in April.
You know who's a tough guy to talk about or grade? Justin Herbert. Like, what do you think of him?
Tremendous talent, but man, you got to string it together, dog.
Yeah, like that's exactly how I feel. I mean, you watch some of his raw talent.
It's amazing.
It's insane.
But he's got to string it together.
The arm strength, the accuracy, some of the stuff that he can do is amazing. But
how big he is in the pocket.
Like, that end zone pick the other day, I'm like, where the fuck are you going with that ball?
Dude, but Indianapolis.
Now that hurt. Now that offensive line is destroyed. But
I got it.
Still. I don't know. Dude, this is a weird football league this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's why I can't tell you who gets to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara for Super Bowl 60. I have no idea right now.
I think the Chiefs are going to be there.
Wow, you really got a limb, ain't you?
No, I mean, who's going to knock them out in the AFC playoffs?
You know what? I guess every time I talk shit on 15, all of a sudden he rips off 4 in a row.
Let me see what's going on. What do the Chiefs' schedule look like coming up?
Well, dude, they're going to be a top schedule because they made it to the Super Bowl.
How about the Commander? By the way, who was right on the end? Well, it's too early.
No. I had to hang in there a little bit.
I told you, though.
Okay.
All right, Chiefs got the Commanders, then they got the Bills, the Broncos, the Colts, and the Cowboys. Dude, they got a tough schedule. Commanders they are what they are right now, but they're not an easy out. Then they have the Bills. They are what they are. Josh Allen's never an easy out. Then they have the Broncos. That defense is good. That's a divisional opponent. Then they got the Colts, another team humming. Then the Cowboys. Then they got Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. They got a tough schedule. The Chiefs have a tough schedule.
That's why I'm kind of hanging in there. What they do here. Here's my top 10 quarterbacks.
I don't think the Patriots are fool's gold.
No way.
I do not. Dave, have you watched the Patriots, or are you just saying that?
Mike Vrabel is not fool's gold.
No. Dave needs to answer this. Have you watched a Patriots game, or do you watch highlights and then you say they're fool's gold.
They're physical.
There's a big differentiation there.
Yeah.
If you watch the Patriots, that team is not fool's gold.
Yeah, they're physical.
That quarterback can flat out play.
He can, man.
Drake May is a good quarterback.
They are a very physical football team.
Okay, so Dave answered by saying, look who they played. Okay, Dave, so you didn't – just answer the question, Dave. You didn't watch the team. That's what you're telling me. You're just looking at who they played and saying they're a phony. They're not a phony. I don't think they're a phony.
So John Clark just posted this. Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo on Devontae Smith pushing them to call the play that resulted in a 79-yard touchdown. That play was put in on Wednesday when we put the game plan together. It was a play off of a play. The process started Wednesday with the installation. We walked through it. We go through it in practice, and then as we get closer to the game, we identify which plays we'd like to go in with. There was some setup plays that led to that play. When you go through the process, the guys know it's on their radar, and obviously that was one of the personal and potential ones that was there for him or AJ. They're both on high alert, like for those plays. He said this, he said he kept coming to the sidelines saying that this play's open all day. This play's open all day. And they refused to deviate off the game plan a little bit until finally Devontae said, just throw it.
So apparently our NFL coaches need to be told that running play action every once in a while is a good thing to do. I mean, bruh.
He's kindergarten.
By the way, I want to address one comment because it's shout to Tom Davey who's tuning in from Facebook. We just started streaming to Facebook daily. So,
thanks, Tom.
Yeah, so Tom, I'm going to answer it because he's over on Facebook. Tom, thanks for being here, dude. What do the Eagles look like with Herbert at quarterback? That's a tough question. Tom, you trying to get me in trouble, dog?
Tom, here's what Herbert would have to do, though. There would be less passing attempts because they'd be focused on run. Justin Herbert needs a run game to take some of the pressure off those stupid plays he makes. If Justin Herbert doesn't have a constant run game and doesn't have an effective offensive line, he is known to make those bonehead plays. So the one thing that Jalen Hurts is better than him at is clearly Jalen will take the sack instead of throwing the pick. And there lies the difference in winning and losing, is the turnover. And so, yeah, I mean, that's right, Xander. The team is built in Los Angeles for Herbert. The team in Philadelphia is built for Hurts.
Yeah.
Here's my top 10 quarterbacks.
All right, let's hear it.
Number 10. I'm going to keep Hurts in my top 10, and I'm going to put him there at 10.
Okay.
Number 9, I got Sam Darnold.
I think that's a little low for Sam. I'm not going to lie to you.
Number 8, I got Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Number 7, I got Jared Goff. Number 6, I got Drake May. Number 5, dude, I got Dak.
Dak at 5?
Number 4, I got...
Wait. How do you have Dak at 5?
I'm going to tell you here in a minute. I got 4, I got Mayfield. I'm not going to let one game dismiss the 5-2 record. Just like I wouldn't put Jalen out of my top 10 because those other games were mediocre. I got Stafford 3. Dude, Matthew Stafford is having a spectacular
year.
And, dude, I'm going to do something. I moved him up here because you talked me into it just now. I'm putting Mahomes 2, man. I'm putting Patrick Mahomes 2. Yeah. And I've got Danny Dimes number 1 right now. So Dimes Jones 1. I've got Mahomes 2, Stafford 3, Mayfield 4, Dak 5, Drake May 6, Goff 7, Herbert 8, Darnold 9, and Hurts 10.
I don't hate it at all. I think Hurts is probably a little low there for me, but I'm going to go number 1. I'm going off just this year. I'm not going off full resume. I'm just going off of quarterback play right now. All right. Right now through 7 weeks. I'm going Dak 1. I think he's the best quarterback in football right now. Doesn't mean he's going to be great in the playoffs. I don't need to hear people, he fails in the playoffs. I know. I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about right now. I think Dak is the best quarterback in football right now. I think Stafford's going to be number 2 for me. I'm going to put Mahomes number 3. I'm going to put Josh Allen number 4. I'm going to put Sam Darnold number 5. I'm going to put Jalen Hurts number 6. I'm going to put where do I want to go here? I think Drake May's been a better player right now than Jared Goff. I'm going to have to go Drake May. That's high, right?
You bet that's high. Now I got May at 6th.
Well, where am I at? I'm at 7, aren't I?
Okay, well, I got Drake May 6. So that's not high. By the way, I'm replacing Herbert with Allen. I'm putting Allen in instead of Herbert.
Yeah,
At number 8.
Come on, Allen's still Allen. He's got a shitty team.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my end. I'm putting Allen at number 8.
All right, I'll go Drake May there. I'll go Drake May there, and then I'll go what's his name? Jared Goff. Then I'll go. Jeez, I'm so unimpressed with Jordan Love, dude. I really am.
I couldn't put him in there either.
I'm so unimpressed with him. You could honestly make an argument. Nah, probably not Aaron Rodgers right now. Baker.
He's not. You got to put Baker in there, dude.
Got to put Baker in there. I'll go Baker next, and then I'll probably go Herbert to close it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Daniel Jones, Mahomes, Stafford, Mayfield, Dak, May, Goff, Allen.
Did I leave Daniel Jones off mine?
What's that?
Did I name Daniel Jones?
Yeah, you left him off.
Yeah, I think I got to get him in there. I can't leave Daniel Jones off. He's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football right now. So this is why I hate doing it off the top of my head. I got to start writing them down. We do these Tuesdays.
Every Tuesday. Yeah, I do it every Tuesday.
Tuesday list.
Listen to this. Daniel Jones is on pace right now for 4,472 yards and 25 touchdowns and 7 picks. And he's on pace for 670 yards rushing.
Who is that?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is on pace for 4K. Don't look now.
Well, they're going to have to if they can't run the ball.
That'll be another never proven wrong.
How about this? Well, they're going to have to because they can't run the ball and they've been behind. I mean, the other years they weren't really playing from behind.
Yeah.
Now you're playing from behind. What's the one line John brings up? The Eagles are the only team I've ever seen in my life that have a winning record, and you've been outscored by or outrushed and out yardage in every single game.
Daniel Jones is 1,800 yards already, man. Whew. Herbert leads the league in passing yards, but just too many picks, and he seems to be a streaky player. He really does.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is right now pacing good. I mean, I know he had a couple big games in a row, but he's 12th in the league in passing yards, 1,500 yards already for him, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jalen's having a quiet. Jalen after get riding the ship this week. When you look at the full picture, it's starting to look a lot better for him quickly. But we'll see how that goes for the next couple of weeks. Obviously, can't go off one game.
You think they've made the transition? From the run to the pass now?
I think they might have to. They can't run the ball right now. I mean, and that brings up the Kurt Warner problem that I read earlier in this segment, where he's like, the Eagles don't have a complex passing offense. So it's a multi-year problem. It's not only this is where I don't think Kevin Patullo has done a perfect job, and I don't think he's given the team an advantage. But this is where I think Eagles fans go too far. Because we were successful last year, people act like Kellen. Guys, the passing offense had the same simple routes and concepts last year. The same simple route concepts. So, if you're not going to criticize the last couple years, you can't just isolate on Kevin Patullo. It's been an Eagles problem. So, that's where that comes into play. And you're like, all right, if they are going to become a passing team, you would think they would need a little bit more than a couple go balls on the outside in man coverage, to be good at it. So I don't know. I do think they got to start passing right now, though. I don't think it's a good playoff recipe, though. I'll say that. If they don't get that run game going by the playoffs, I don't think we're going to go the distance. You got to be able to run the football in the playoffs, man.
By the way, we'll read your super chats here in a second.
Yeah, we got Keith coming up.
Keith Byers will join us at the bottom of the hour here. So let me ask you this there, then, Xander. I mean, okay, so on Vic, you think we're going to see Jacorian Bennett this weekend?
No, I don't. He wasn't good. He wasn't good.
Okay, so no Jacorian Bennett. Okay. Did you hear what Vic said about Jackson Dart? He said this. He goes, all the teams that pass on him, you're going to regret passing on that guy. He's an elite runner. He throws on time, and he's really good at throwing on the run. Obviously, the last game, he was really impressed with him. I mean, I thought Vic got his ass handed to him in that game.
Yeah,
Brian Dable and him.
Vic is also good at a little bit of that gamesmanship too, where he talks up his opponents. He talked up Baker. He talked up Bo Nix. He talks them all up a little bit. So, but I do agree with him. I think Jackson Dart has impressed me more in game than I thought. I thought he was kind of a swagger moxie guy. I always liked that about him, but I didn't know about the actual football quarterbacking attributes. Can he get the ball into tight windows? Can he throw the football downfield? Can he, be on time and in rhythm and stuff like that? I think he's done a really good job.
Don't you want?
They might have one. They might finally got a guy in New York there, man.
Don't you want Dean on the field with that kind of speed in the run game?
Yes, 100%. Dude, we watched 30 snaps last week. The defense was significantly better with him on the field.
And with a guy that runs the ball at quarterback, don't you want him on the field more?
Right. I don't know. John told me, he's like, Dean's going to be the odd man out. Because think about it. A lot of Eagles fans want the Eagles to still trade for another edge. So let's walk through that. If they trade for another edge, now you got Brandon Graham, another edge, Jalix, no one's coming back. Now you're going to have a lot of guys at edge, which means rule out Campbell being at the edge rusher room. They got enough of them. So now you're back to Campbell, Bond, Dean. There's an odd man out. Either an edge rusher guy sitting and Campbell staying at the edge, or one of the linebackers is going to the bench. Is it Dean or is it Campbell? John says it's Dean. I think it could be Campbell.
I do too, and I'll tell you why.
Let the young buck learn, man. Sit on the bench, consume some of the game from the side, see what you're seeing from that angle. We'll get you your game reps.
Bro, I think Dean's a better player.
Me too. Right, better linebacker. I'm talking about being a linebacker.
Listen, you know what people are going to take? They're going to take that I think he's a better player and that he's got more skill. That's not what I said. He's better today. You know what I'm saying? He's better today. I would get Campbell more in so I can get him in flash plays.
Yeah.
Put him more in a position, to win. Mike.
Hey, Sigma, I don't disagree. I mean, Sigma says we need an edge, though, Xander. I agree with you, brother. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there is going to be some ramifications to that where, Campbell might not be on the field as much or Dean can't get on the field. I think Dean is the better move right now.
So one last one here before we read the super chats here. I thought it was kind of an interesting take that when Vic was asked the question, he answered it more like a politician, which is not his strength. And you can always tell when he's going to have to answer something smart. When he was asked about Brandon Graham, he goes, when I occasionally walked in and saw him around the facility, I kind of teased him about retiring, this and that. This is clearly a Howie Roseman sign. There's no way Fangio was politicianing for this guy to come back. That's not how he answered that. I mean, they made that decision. And in my opinion, this is what we call in the business. That's a Howie cover. The guy retired. What a better way to cover up a retirement than going into the well and bringing back a fan favorite. I mean, dude, I don't know. And Vic Fangio even asked the question. They asked him the question, what do you think Brandon Graham's going to bring? He goes, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I have no idea. So when you have a guy, that doesn't sound like a guy that was politicianing for a guy who doesn't know what he's going to bring to the defense, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, the thing I like about it is you don't have to give up a draft pick, and he's probably better than any free agent available. So, from that perspective, I guess it's worth.
I'm not shitting on it. I'm not. I'm saying
no, I'm not either. But it's obvious how he should have just brought him back and not made him retire in the first place. To be
you should have signed him in March.
I heard Hugh Douglas today. I'm not sure if you saw that. Hugh Douglas was like, "Yeah, well, we had an edge rusher, Bryce Huff. If he was here, we wouldn't need to bring back BJ." I'm like, "Oh, come on." Bryce Huff was never going to work in Vic Fangio's
He's got 4 sacks right now.
I know. But he wouldn't work here, dude. That's not
I
what
got it.
Wants. Yeah, so
it's not as hey, look, Robert Saleh knows how to use him. Okay.
I saw my boy Deshay in the chat who said BG's here to be the babysitter for AJ and Jalen.
That's not why I'm giving a roster spot up, man. Why don't I just sign Big Dom? Oh man, Big Z, your team, it never ceases to amaze me. It writes itself every fucking day.
It always does, man. It always does. Sometimes I wish they wouldn't, but at the end of the day, it's good for business. So
you know what I'm going to ask? You know what I'm going to ask Keith Byers? Does a running back run out of gas quickly?
Yeah, well, he's going to have an answer to it. It's good to ask Supers. Edgar, what's up, brother? I think AJ means they use me as a decoy, not skill. Brother, you're deciphering like the
Thank you, though.
You're like deciphering tongues there, man, when you're talking about AJ Brown's captions. I mean, I don't know what the hell what it means, Edgar.
Using smoke signals.
Using me, but not using me. That could literally mean they're using me in the game and they're using me in the media. It could mean that they're not using me in the game properly, but they're using me in a decoy. It could literally mean anything, bro. There's like 834. There's like 800 freaking interpretations of the damn, which I think is why he was trolling. I think he knew it was easy. I agree, actually. I think he's trolling us.
Jesus Christ, man.
Kimberly. Barkley has so many carries. The passing game will rest the him and O-line to rest them for important part of the season.
Well, here's your problem with that. If you rest them against this Giants defensive front seven, you'll lose again. Xander, they're not going to get healthier in the offensive line until the offseason.
I agree.
That's unless you rest them. And if you rest them, you take the chance of dropping these simple games. You can't drop an NFC game, especially a divisional game.
Here's Justo. Justo says, Stout University has gone woke. That's why the O-line sucks.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. The players are not playing well right now. The guys are hurt in the middle. Tyler Steen's not what Mekhi Becton was. Cam Jurgens is kind of a shell of himself right now. It is what it is. Here's Josh. Stop paying these old dudes who are going to only be here for 2 years. Maybe we need young, talented guys, not old dudes past their prime. Well, Josh, what are you talking about? I mean, they got quite a few young guys. They're one of the youngest rosters in football.
Do you think Howie failed more at edge or more in the O-line this year?
Probably the edge.
The edge?
Probably the edge.
Okay.
I think all of us came in thinking the O-line would be fine. I don't think anybody thought the O-line was going to look like this at the beginning of the year. Landon and Cam are going to be healthy. The only change was Tyler Steen. So I think we thought we were going to prevail. I mean, the depth hasn't been great, but they brought back Fred.
Hey, the O-line that Keith Byers played for was one of the worst in professional football history. And now you're looking at an offensive line that is banged up, not good. And 36% of the time, Saquon Barkley has been hit behind the line of scrimmage. We're going to read these supers, and we're going to get right to Keith.
We got them all. We're all good. Oh, just one more, and then we'll get to Keith. Completely agree. Dean is better at diagnosing the run plays and shooting gaps before the O-line can engage him. He's amazing at it.
I'm going to tell you one. I'm going to give you something.
Then we're going to go. I got to run.
Then we're going to go to Keith. Check it out. I played against Earl Campbell, one of the greatest backs of all time. He was in New Orleans. He was in really good shape at the time, right? When I hit him, he was a pillow. And this guy was one of the most dominant players in the history of the NFL. And I remember going to the sidelines going, what the hell happened to that guy? You know what Leroy Selman told me? Hey, you put a lot of miles on them wheels. Okay,
Yeah.
you put a lot of miles on them wheels, dog. It
Yeah.
it hits you in between the eyes, and it
I think
comes
this
fast.
team, they got to get Barkley going, man. They're going to have to get Barkley. Look, even if they become a passing team for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, I think you come playoff time, if that running game isn't working a little bit, I don't think this team is a Super Bowl team. I mean, you got to be able to run the football in the NFL. I mean, even the best quarterbacks and the best offenses got to be able to run the football.
One last thing I'm going to leave you with before you go. You know what Keith Byers said in 2023 when they were 10-2? Do you remember?
No.
He went like this. The Eagles aren't playing playoff football. They really haven't played playoff football since Turkey Day.
Yeah,
and they went on that downfall.
Yeah, that's right. I
Let's
do
see
remember
what he
that
says
now.
about this offense here. Big Z will catch you tomorrow, my friend.
Thank you, Big Silz. Appreciate it, brother.
One of the truly greatest backs. By the way, I pray, hey, football gods, I want Miami and Ohio State in the national championship game. That program stole a national championship from me with the infamous flag that came from nowhere. I mean, from Woody Hayes' pocket, Earl Bruce's pocket. Somebody stole a national title from me, and I want revenge on that Ohio State football team. But without further ado, see that jersey back there? This guy right here is one of my boys' greatest friends, and he is a friend of ours, and we absolutely admire him and love this man. He is a Philadelphia Eagle legend. Our friend Keith Byers joins us right now here. How you doing, Keith?
Oh, I'm doing good, Big Dan. Big Dan doing really good. You're talking about stealing. I got a Heisman Trophy stolen from me because somebody from Miami can't knock a freaking Hail Mary pass down. Well, I can have my trophy to be right here, right behind my head.
Oh, my God. That's so right. Wait a minute here.
Yeah, talking about stealing.
Tolbert Brain couldn't knock the pass down against Doug Flutie, who reminds me of that stupid play. Jerome, you fell in the mud, you should have blamed. Hey, Jerome fell in the mud. He could have got him there, but guess what? The guy gets behind, and Keith Byers loses out on a Heisman. Over 1,700 rushing yards that year, too, my friends. Unbelievable.
But I used to tease Jerome Brown all the time. I said, bro, I love you. All them great plays you had in college, you took that play off? That's the one play you took off, JB? He started laughing. You had a couple sacks that game, but you took that play off, JB.
Oh, man. Absolutely, man. Hey, Keith, I want to ask you, because the big conversation here now is on Barkley. This guy had over 460 carries. He's had a situation where he has had 3 knee surgeries in his years when he was in New York. The offensive line is banged up. You have that amount of carries, plus you had 2,000 yards for a running back. Can you lose a step? Can the tires get a little worn? You tell me on what you're seeing with Saquon Barkley this year.
No, Saquon is fine. Yeah, so to answer your first question, yes, tires can get worn out. Just like a quarterback's arm can have too many throws on it. And so as long as there's holes opening up, running backs can find them. Maybe not as quick as they used to, but they can still find them. So Saquon Barkley is fine. It's not him. But you got to make a great run to get to the line of scrimmage. That's a problem. Last year, they were moving the line of scrimmage. They were blocking those guys 2 and 3 yards down the field. And, Saquon was going 3 and 4 yards up the field before he had to make a move. You look at some of those holes that Detroit opened up last night for Jamar Gibbs. You mean tell me Saquon wouldn't be able to run through that? So the problems are with us. It's in the mirror. Everybody on that offensive line, they're responsible. Whether you're the starter, whether you're the backup, you got to get the job done. And they haven't gotten the job done. It's not like the holes are open and Saquon's not hitting them, or he's stumbling and no, that's not it. And the calls that the Eagles are having right now, up prior to Sunday against Minnesota, they were all internal. The answers got to come in that locker room, and you got to have some hard conversations sometimes with some of the guys, and hopefully that 2-week period that they went through that made a difference. This past Sunday, to get that win against Minnesota, because you're going to need that going forward. Otherwise, it'll be a lost season. And I don't know, we were 3-0, people were panicking. We were 4-0, people were panicking. 4-1, 5-4-2. I'm like, guys, it's a long season. And hopefully we'll look back at this part of the season and be like, okay, that was just a stump, a stump in the road. Because it's a 17-game season, and I always break it down like this. Every 4 games is like the first quarter. So the first 4 games were the first quarter. Second 4 games are halftime. Third quarter, fourth quarter, 17th game is overtime. So right now, the first 4 games of the season, we went 4-0. Scratch it, throw it away. The next 4 games of the season, right now we're 1-2. You got to play 500 or better, to get to the playoffs and go to where we want to go. So this game Sunday, against the Giants, let the Eagles really show back up again. We got to give them some straightening. Because that team that I saw 10 days ago on Thursday night against the Giants, that was not the Eagles. They got out-hit, out-coached, out-played, out everything. So, and it's how the scheduling work. You played them again twice in 3-week period. I want to see the different Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday afternoon.
How about this, Keith? You mentioned internal issues. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by internal noise? I mean, sometimes, as you know, man, you could step on your own, inside a locker room, and you could self-sabotage yourself. What do you mean by that when you said everything came from within?
Well, I think it was more noise from within. Guys are not getting the ball enough. Guys aren't holding their blocks long enough. Guys not getting off blocks. Guys not covering. People not trusting it. So it was just a big trust issue on the field that you could tell it was some issues all internally, off the field. I mean, last year, and where was we're still have a young defense. And, you need to have more veterans in the locker room. I mean, look, go to the first game of the season, the first play of the season, our defense, Jalen Carter is getting kicked out of the game, spitting, talking trash. We're defending Super Bowl champs. We're looking for game 1 of the season first, and you get kicked out. Where was the veterans? Where was the veteran leadership there? He should have been nowhere near the Cowboy huddle. We're about to play the first game of the season, and you over here talking? We don't have nothing to talk about. Let them shoulder pads, helmets, and football does all the talking. That's now not the time to be talking. We're both 0-0 right now. Last year is last year, and that was like, oh my gosh! Thank God we won the game. But that was like a tell to what was to come in the future. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, and even against the Rams, we blocked a field goal, and then we get a 15-yard penalty instead of trotting the ball at 25. We're on the 9-yard line because you're still chirping all this stuff. Hey, guys, we don't need to talk. Go out there and play. And so all those little things, they drawing attention. Those are all discipline problems that has to be taken care of internally. Those self-inflicted wounds. I mean, the Cowboys would gladly, take a penalty to get Jalen Carter out of the game. But we've been game planning. It's our number 1 defensive lineman. Yet he's not going to play, not because he's hurt, because of mental things. That was just a mental mistake by him to get kicked out of the game. We got to be better. We got to be better. And so last year is last year, totally different. So I said everything comes from internally. It's not like we have huge injury issues. Every team has injuries. But you got to go back to reminder who you are, as a player. I'm a Philadelphia Eagle. We win. We got to get this thing straightened out. And I mean, everybody's going to learn from Jalen Hurts on down. Everybody about to be held accountable. And I love Jalen Hurts, but I think, and I'm not there, I'm on the outside looking in, but sometimes he has to, be a jerk in that locker room. You can't be everybody's friend. Sometimes, you're the leader. Sometimes you got to say some popular and sometimes unpopular things to get everyone's attention, to get us back to where we want to go, and that's back to the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, you can win the Super Bowl. But you can't get to the Super Bowl without getting to the playoffs.
Keith, do you think that this team has a discipline problem, and that's why Brandon Graham was signed today? That of all the things that you just said, because like you said, there's just numerous things. The chirping by AJ, the chirping by some of the offensive players at the quarterback, throwing shots. I mean, he threw another shot today, in my opinion, at the quarterback, going and talking about the offense again. So do you think there's a discipline problem on this football team?
Yeah, but all correctable. it is correctable. And when you're on top, you're an easy target. People are easily, to take shots at you, and everybody who you think is your friend, whether it be a reporter, a friend, a family member, not always have your best interests involved. But you don't have to answer every question that was answered to you in a certain way. Especially, they ought to be more adept to knowing when you're getting a gotcha question, when somebody's trying to find controversy, trying to poke holes into your parachute, if you will. So the Eagles, how did they win the Super Bowl last year? By being together as one. Somebody made a play, everybody was excited. Not, well, when is it going to be my turn to make a play? God, we win together, we lose together. And so nobody wants to see Philadelphia repeat other than the Philadelphia Eagle fans. You got 31 other cities that don't want that to happen. So we have to realize that this is what you fight, scratch, and claw for, is to be the Super Bowl champ so you can do it again. Kansas City did it. When they won it, they repeated. They were trying to three-peat. But you had a lot of people I thought Kansas City did a great job of keeping the team focused on what's important now. That's winning. WIN. What's important now? Win. And they did a good job to get to 3 straight Super Bowls. Who to say they're not going to get to a 4th Super Bowl? So the Eagles, can take a page out of some of that book. But yeah, we beat them. But how do we get back there to do it again? And don't worry about the rest of the league. Worry about themselves. And that's what I want to see the Eagles, get back to doing. They did it this past Sunday. Because winning does cover a multitude of faults. But now let's get another winning streak going. We had a 4-game winning streak, followed by a 2-game losing streak. Let's get another winning streak going.
How about this too? Help me out here and help everyone else out in Philly here. So, some superstar talented players. I know the offensive line, no disrespect to your boys, but very limited. You have Chris Carter on that team. You have Keith Jackson on that team. You have you. And, of course, you have Randall. How much of that do you guys have when it comes to, I want the ball? Keith, you wanted the ball carrying it. You wanted it thrown to you. I'm sure Keith Jackson wanted the ball thrown to him. I'm sure that when you had Chris Carter and everything was going well with him, he wanted the football too. You got a receiver right now that's bitching like every single week, A.J. Brown, that he wants the ball. I get it. That's part of the DNA of that position in today's NFL. But did you ever have to go to Randall? And did you go to Randall and say, how does that communication work? Randall, get me the ball here, man. It's going to be a mismatch versus the linebackers. Or maybe Keith said, listen, they can't cover us, man. Those linebackers are not good. How does that dynamic work?
Well, it was only one person on those teams that wanted the ball every time, and that was Chris Carter. Chris would go to the 3rd string quarterback to tell the 2nd string quarterback to tell Randall to get him the ball. But, that was just, like white noise, if you will. But the key thing that was a difference, we wanted to win. That's all we wanted to do was win the football game. And, so we didn't get, you're going to get your touches anyway. Gosh, if we was playing in today's game, these guys average a lot of times double figures in targets. If you get 10, 11, 12 targets, you're supposed to come back with 75 or 80% of those targets. I could count the games on one hand where I got targeted 10 times or more. So when I caught 7 balls, I probably had 7 balls thrown to me. If I caught 4, I probably had 4 or 5 thrown to me. Keith Jackson, if he caught 8 balls, which was, you didn't get, which is exciting, he only had 8 or 9 balls thrown to him. He never, consistently had 12, 15 balls coming his way. So it was all about winning. So sometimes Keith would come into the huddle and say, hey, I'm getting double covered. I'm going to do this, and that's going to free up Keith or Chris and vice versa. So we was all about winning. So sometimes it's not about you catching the ball or getting a touchdown, because whoever scores a touchdown, we all scored a touchdown. It counts for all of us. You don't get extra because it was you. So that's what I'm saying. That brotherly love theme that they had last year has to come back, because you're always looking for people to attack you from outside. So that's what I said. The answers come from within the locker room. It's there.
I'm wondering
They
if
also have plenty of more enemies outside the locker room who don't want to see them do well. So the players, those 53 guys in the locker room, they got to know it's us. And we have people that's supporting us, but we can't tear us up each other. We can't stab each other in the back if we're trying to win it all. If we're just trying to go out there and have some individual success, yeah, you can go do that, but that ain't going to win you those games. That ain't win you no Super Bowl.
Isn't that the quarterback's responsibility, though, Keith, to settle the locker room and the huddle, where it's his responsibility to go like this? What you said, hey, so you're talking to me about playing like not selfish football. It could have been easy for you to go over there. Hey, Keith, if you wanted to be 1,000-yard guy rushing and 1,000-yard receiving like Roger Craig back in the day, you could have did that crap too. But you just got through saying you have to be a little you have to be a little bit more team oriented. Maybe that's what's going on in the huddle here, because, dude, this guy AJ Brown, man, the guy pitched the perfect game, 158 quarterback rating on Sunday, and he's still complaining today about the offense.
Yeah. I'll just take it with a grain of salt. With AJ, get him another book to read on the sideline or whatever. That was about. But give him another hug. But one thing I've always said about quarterbacks is they're like the head coach. They get too much credit when the team wins, too much blame when the team loses. And the most successful teams have multiple leaders on it. When the quarterback's going to get majority of the credit. So the Eagles lost a lot of leadership, last year. Not just Brandon Graham, because thank God he's back now, but Brandon's not going to be there all the time. Somebody has got to grow up. So those younger guys have to grow up in the leadership roles. You lost, Josh Sweat last year. So you got multiple leaders. Saquon is a leader on that team. So is Jalen Hurts. AJ's not a leader right now. But so all those, the line, those guys, the leaders got every position group has to have a leader to identify them. And then you have one or two spokesperson for that side. Like the Philadelphia Eagles in my time, yes, Reggie White was the leader of the team. Reggie was just one of the leaders. Randall Cunningham was another one. I was the leader. Seth Joyner, was a leader. So we have multiple leaders on the team. Only one or two guys get the credit for it. And so all the leadership on the Eagles needs to come forth. And I'm telling you, that leadership will turn back into W's instead of L's.
How about this? I want to read something to you here, and you tell me about Jalen Hurts. The offense right now is 26th. Passing game is 22nd. Run game is 30th. Scoring, they're 14th. Red zone, they're 1. Third down, they're 27th, which means a lot of 3-and-outs. It's 28 quarters of football. You and I go on trends. The fans will call things stats. You and me get a trend book every Wednesday when we're going forward on building a game plan. What do you make of the Eagle offense as a balanced offense attack? I mean, I say the quarterback's limited, and they just don't. You saw what he could do, but they don't do that on a week-to-week basis. Why don't they do that, Keith, in your opinion?
Well, you can't. I don't like to compare them to other teams because other teams have different personnel and different objectives and different styles of offense. Whereas at the end of the day, it's about getting a big W on the scoreboard. And yes, I know analytics and stats, that's important, but they only tell me half the story. Eye test tells me the other story. I mean, and you look at some of those 3-and-outs, you run the reason why they get 3-and-out because you're in third and long a lot. So you got to be better on first and second down if you want to be good on third down. So that's what I said. It's a lot of blame all the way around. I mean, that Eagles offense that this year won a Super Bowl last year. And one of the reasons why they won the Super Bowl last year was when Kansas City said, Saquon Barkley's not going to beat us. Okay, fine, but we're going to run Saquon just enough so that y'all stay in certain defenses where we can throw the ball over the top. And still, you got to respect play action because Saquon can break one at any time. So you have to still run the football. But that if the Eagles wouldn't committed to the run in that Super Bowl, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. They're like, well, let's just throw the ball 40 times to see if we can still win this game. It's going to be hard. But because they kept running the ball and kept their identity, that's why they won the Super Bowl. So the Eagles are still don't get away from what you do best. And right now, everybody's not doing their job offensively. They're missing blocks. We got some injuries. We have some drop balls. We have some missed passes. But it's still good enough to win a Super Bowl. It's been proven. And so until you prove me otherwise, I mean, don't say that Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball deep down the middle. He can't throw routes. He can. And he's proven he can do it. But I've seen other quarterbacks do it, but they ain't winning no games. They're not going to Super Bowl. They're not making playoffs. They got some numbers, I mean, look at Joe Burrow in Cincinnati last year. Oh, they lit up the scoreboard. They didn't make the playoffs. That didn't win them no Super Bowl. So the bottom line is winning. We tickets will sell. People will still come, no matter what style, because they want to leave the stadium at the end of the day with a big W. Not, I know we lost, but we threw for 400 yards and ran for 170. But man, you see how we scored 5 touchdowns, but you lost. Yeah, but look, no, that's nothing to be bragging about. I'll take a 10-0, 13-7 win all day long as we win.
Couple last ones here for you, Keith. You think the difference this year in this offense and last year is that you said something perfect here. Man, they were in third and short the entire time. The defense kept them in good field position because they got a ton of 3-and-outs on the offensive side. You think the difference with this offense this year is clearly the run game, and they're not winning first and second down, and that's why they're in third and long and why they're 27th and 3-and-outs right now in the league. They go back to winning first and second down, then the offense will right itself. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no question. The playbook would open up even more. The playbook is small when it's 3rd and 7 and longer. You can't run all these plays. You can run a quick screen. Yeah, that'll get you 4 or 5 yards, but now you're punting. But when it's 3rd and 3 or less, 3rd and 4 or less, hey, the playbook is still wild. You got to respect the run. Because Saquon can run for 4 yards with the right hold. He run 4 or 44. You got to still, that dictates the defense. But now when you're in 3rd and 7 and longer consistently, you're not going to have a great deal of success. Not in this league. Maybe in some certain colleges you can do that, but not if you're trying to win it. No, you're not going to do that. Defenses are too good, and the personnel's too good to continue to have great success in 3rd and 7 and longer.
It's Gang Green weekend. It's Kelly Green weekend, right?
Yes, I'm in the building. I'm coming this weekend.
Oh, you're going to be in the house?
I will be in the house. Yes,
I think
indeed.
Eric Allen's being honored too.
He is. He's getting his Hall of Fame ring, I think, at halftime at a game this Sunday. So I'm going out to dinner with him on Saturday night, along with some other Eagles. So we're gonna have dinner on Saturday night and celebrate a win on Sunday. And I'll be one of the loudest voices in the stadium when he gets his Hall of Fame ring.
What was that environment like with that team? I mean, it was such a massive personality team. I mean, we don't see very many teams. I'll say the 85 Bears, you guys were like, maybe a little bit with the Giants and LT's guys, but nothing like you and the 85 Bears.
No, the Giants don't compare to us. Because, I'm great friends with Pepper Johnson. He said, man, it was business with the Giants. You guys, it was business and personal. You guys actually love each other, actually get along as one. Y'all care about each other. Y'all always there for each other. I mean, and so I always tell people, playing in Philadelphia, the nickname is City of Brotherly Love. It was just apropos. All these personalities from all over the United States come together in that locker room, and the bond that we had and still have today is just strong. I mean, I was at the Eric Allen's Hall of Fame ceremony in Canton, Ohio this summer, and I hadn't seen Eric maybe in about 4 or 5 years. And talked to him after he got, voted in. But it was just like we had seen each other yesterday. I mean, we were his wife Lynn. It was just like, man, it's just a bond that we have that would never be broken. It's like when I look at the, behind you, Jerome Brown's jersey, I still hear his voice in my ear every day. That's my brother. He's probably sitting out in heaven, sitting back laughing at us right now. Talking about, kick behind, you still talking about that sack I didn't get? Yes, Jerome, I'm still talking about the sack you didn't get.
Hey, all I know is this. He ain't sitting anywhere. He's in a fast car somewhere, driving that bad puppy somewhere. That Grand National is.
Oh, I can still hear it right now.
Or him driving one of them motorcycles in the Eagle parking lot. I remember going up.
Oh, my gosh.
That dude's doing 175 in that parking lot there where they had the Spectrum and they had the Vet. He's driving along in that, right?
Oh, you're over there by JFK Stadium, yeah.
Hey, man, Keith, that's so good. By the way, real quick here, Ohio State. All right, man, would you rather have a national title or, okay, how about this? What's more important to Ohio State Buckeye guys? You winning a national title, Keith, or you being 3-0 versus Michigan. What would you take more, 3-0 versus Michigan or a national title?
I was gonna say, it's hard to win one without the other. But they proved me differently last year. They did not beat Michigan and won the national title. But in this environment, the national title, because it's different. You can lose the Michigan game and still make the playoffs and win a national title.
How many pants
Before,
do you have?
you couldn't. I have 2.
You got 2 pants?
Yes.
Is that some of your most prized possession for winning that Michigan game?
No question. No question. I mean, that game is unlike any other. I mean, you can call me biased, but of all the sports rivalry there are out there, that's number one. The only thing close to me is Army Navy, but the Ohio State Michigan is number one sports rivalry. The Yankees and Red Sox, they play too many times a year to be counted. USC, Notre Dame, not even close. Nobody cares about Alabama, Auburn, but Ohio State Michigan, it sticks with you forever. Those 4 years that you play in that rivalry will always be there. I mean, a few years ago when Jim Harbaugh was the coach, I was at a golf tournament in Michigan in June, and Michigan had beat Ohio State, I think it was the first time in many years. And I'm sitting there getting some breakfast, and lo and behold, you get that feeling somebody staring at you. And I looked over, and it was Jim Harbaugh. And he's just smiling. And I grabbed my food from the buffet, and he said, "Hi, King." "Hi, Jim." No, he don't like me. So I go across the room to sit down and eat my, my breakfast, my oatmeal and eggs. And a few minutes later, Jim comes over, walks over to my table. "So how's everything going? How you enjoying summer?" I'm like, "Jim, you don't small talk with me." But because they won, he just stick the needle in. If we had won that game, Jim wouldn't have said 2 words to me. But now he goes, "Oh yeah," I'm like, but we hadn't played against each other in over 40 years in college. But hey, that's what happens. They were always, be a nemesis, and so whenever we get together with Ohio State, Michigan guys, that's the question you ask me, what did you do? Did you beat Michigan? Did you beat Ohio State? And if your answer is 0, you're gonna get ribbed even more. So I say, hey man, I was 2-2 against y'all, and I think I had 7 touchdowns. And said, my sophomore year, y'all beat us. I only had 2 touchdowns. My junior year, we beat them to go to the Rose Bowl. 2 touchdowns wasn't good enough, so I had to go get 3. So I scored 3 on you that afternoon.
Man,
so we had some good times.
I ask Gary Cobb that all the time. He goes, one of the greatest things was being able to go and play in a Rose Bowl. And I go, who'd you enjoy playing against? He goes, hey, anytime you got a chance to play against Ohio State and you got a chance to play Woody Hayes and those guys, man, those games were always great.
Epic.
Going and playing in a Rose Bowl. Did you enjoy playing in the Rose Bowl more or NFL playoff game?
Oh, that's a hard question. No, that's not fair. Because the granddaddy, the Rose Bowl, but that's the biggest college game you could play in.
You bet.
At the time, and the times have changed now. But everybody wanted to play in a Rose Bowl. Even your conference didn't play in a Rose Bowl. You wanted to play in a Rose Bowl. So, but the 4 bowl games I played in, the Rose Bowl, I had the least fun because they knew whether we paid more than anybody. You're in Los Angeles. The committee doesn't care if you have a good time because they were kind of snobbish. But you put that aside because it's the Rose Bowl. This is our goal to play in the Rose Bowl. It was at the St. Gabriel Mountains in the Hush of the Sun.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching the Rose Bowl. It's coming on at 5:00. There's no competition. There's not 2 bowl games on at once. It's the only game. Everybody's watching the Rose Bowl, and you want to play in it. So that's, the cream de la cream in college football. That's the one game you want to play in. But now pros, after not making the playoffs my rookie year in 16-game season, and you go home and that's it. I'm like, there's got to be more. My college roommate and best friend, Pepper Johnson, wins the Super Bowl my rookie year with the New York Giants. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. My second year, where I missed the playoffs because of the strike, and then we won the division my third year, in '88. And I'm like, if you're only playing in the National Football League just to play a regular season, you chose the wrong profession. Because playoff football is totally different than regular season football, just like regular season football is totally different than preseason football. You play in the NFL to play in the playoffs Because then once you're in the playoffs, now you get a chance to play in the big game, the Super Bowl. And if you're not playing to play that game, why are you even playing? You need to go on and retire.
Last one here for you, Keith. Is there a regret that you have playing in Philly? I mean, you mentioned the playoffs here. I mean, is there any regret with those great talented players? Now, look, the NFL had so many good teams, the Niners, the Giants, the Redskins. I mean, go down the list. Nobody had free agency. Everybody was able to keep their guys. And I say it was really one of the golden ages of the National Football League. And teams were so deep. Was there a regret, though, that you have in your NFL?
I don't know if I would use the word regret because I'm a wordsmith. Because I wouldn't use the word. I don't have no regrets. I want to do it all over. I regret that they didn't postpone the Fall Bowl in '88. Because I think if they'd have postponed that game, we win. Because television, we got another game because that was the first game on that Saturday. We, had 2 playoff games, so we got to get this playoff game in by any means necessary. But we can't see.
No, Jerome told me he couldn't see 3 feet in front of him.
He's not lying. I'm in the backfield. I couldn't see the tight end. I could only see the tackles and the guards and the quarterback. I couldn't see the wide receiver or the tight end. I think the NFL learned that lesson, so that's the lesson I had to, if a fall happens again in the playoffs, they're going to delay the game. They'll postpone it until the fall clears. So I think that cost us a Super Bowl in '91 when Randall, tore his knee up the first game of the season. Is that a regret? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it regret, but if Randall Cunningham was healthy coming off the MVP season of 1990 and the number 1 defense in '91, there's no way, we would be talking about that. That's 2 Super Bowl teams, I'm for sure, that if I had it all over again, karma, we win the Super Bowl. Because even that 91 team is the last team in the National Football League. Up until now, they was number 1 against defense, number 1 total defense, number 1 against the run, number 1 against the pass. No defense has duplicated that since 1991.
That's right.
So, and if some people ask me, who's the greatest defense, the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens? I'm like, what about the 91 Eagles? I take them over all those teams. So I wouldn't use the word regret, but I wish I could have those two seasons, again. And then my third one would be, I wish I could have always played, all my whole career in Philadelphia. It was just different times, free agency, but I wanted to start my career in Philadelphia. If I had it all over again, if I could have done it and controlled it, I would have played my whole career in Philadelphia.
Do you think Jalen Carter, do you see Jalen Carter and Jerome Brown? Do you see similarities in the 2 guys?
Yes. That's all I'm going to say because Jerome is great. So Jalen's still getting there. So I see similarities. I only see similarities.
I'm going to leave it.
I'm not going to put him in front of Jerome wouldn't have got kicked out of no game.
No.
So I only see similarities. So Jalen is young. He didn't have a Reggie White that would snatch him by the collar if he would have been over there by the other team's huddle. And I love Jalen Carter. I'm glad he's the Eagle, but I want him to stay an Eagle.
Absolutely. Keith, I love you, man. I'm going to say
good luck. Too, man.
Man, I do. I
love doing your show. It's a good show.
I love you so much, man. I mean, Jerome talked about you so much, man. I know the Brooksville stuff and all of us, man.
Wow.
The last time we saw each other personally was in Brooksville. Obviously, we said goodbye to him.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was there. Get this. So my wife is in the middle. There's Cortez Kennedy. There's Russell Maryland. Everybody's crying. Chris Carter's on the board. Reggie's giving the sermon. We were all pallbearers that day for that day.
Yeah.
And we all said goodbye. We took our ties off, remember?
Yep.
We took our ties off and we put it in there for him because we all wanted to say goodbye. And, dude, we're brothers forever, man.
Yeah. Don't keep going because I'm about to get melancholy over here.
Hey, have a great time this
brother.
Weekend, man. Have a great time this weekend going back home to Philadelphia. Thank you, Keith.
Good. All right, Dan. Pleasure.
You got it, man. That's Keith Byers. Truly one of the greatest Philadelphia Eagles of all time, one of the great Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, man. That was quite a dude, you had to be there to see that. The passing of Jerome. I mean, we were all pallbearers. Me too. was a pallbearer at the funeral. He listed them too. Got all the names. We were all there. Had to say goodbye. They're truly one of the greatest. Keith Byers says that there's a, what did he call it in the locker room? There's a character issue. They need to get back focused, he said. There's a character issue. Okay? Thank you. Guys, I you know what? I am so close to all those Philadelphia Eagle guys from the 90s. Played against them in college. And Jerome introduced me to all of them. Dude, I can't tell you how great of friends I was with Andre Waters. Eric Allen is friends with me. He comes on the program. By the way, I didn't know that they were celebrating Xander until he came on. They told me that they're celebrating Eric Allen. I think I mentioned that with you, Xander, right? So we're going to have to get him on next week because he's going to be there. They're going to give him his Hall of Fame ring this weekend. And they're going to honor him in Philly. And we talk all the time. You mean we'll get him on again? We've had him on twice. We've had so many people on the program. Xander didn't even remember Kurt Warner being on. Hey, man, we didn't have Kurt Warner on. What do you mean we didn't have Kurt Warner on? Right? When we found out Jerome passed, Reggie White was leading a huge Christian service at the vet. Yeah, I think it was not a Jerry Falwell. It was the other guy, I think. Yeah, he had found out, like I did. We all did. We found out that we found out that morning because somebody from the Inquirer, the Philadelphia Inquirer, called me. They said, "Silz, did you hear what happened?" And I went, "No." And they go, "Jerome died." And I'm like, "Come again?" And then I got a call from Clyde Simmons. And then I got a call from, what was his name? Wilkes. You guys had a defensive tackle who I was friends with. His name escapes me. Mike Pitts. Sorry. Mike Pitts. I got a call from Mike Pitts. He goes, "Silz, Jerome died." My girlfriend was who was my wife now. We left Connecticut and we went immediately down to Florida. And then we drove over, I think the next day or a couple days later over to Brooksville. And we were there for the funeral services. And we got invited. I mean, obviously the Browns wanted me there. And so I could never say no. Alonzo, it was Canes, NFL guys, but mostly Eagle guys and Canes guys that were there. Okay. Almost, man. Very close. If Jerome would have played great on Monday night against the Giants one time, I would have been an Eagle. I had a 3-year contract in my hand. I'm not kidding you. And Buddy Ryan turned and looked at me and goes, "You think I want another one of you around here? I know who you are, Sileo. You know I cut." I'm like, I looked at Jerome and I go, "You asshole." Oh, man. Yeah. Seriously, the general manager, I can't remember who the GM was of the Eagles at the time. They flew me in after I'd gotten released by the Bucks. First place I went, I work out. Everyone, I think Jeff Fisher was the defensive line coach. And they worked me out. They go, "Yeah, we're going to sign you." General manager goes, "Yeah, here's a 3-year contract. All you have to do is go see Buddy and, we're good." I guess Jerome dogged it the night on Monday night. It was a Tuesday. And you guys got beat on a Monday night. And LT, I forget it. This was 88, I think it was. I think this was 88. And I just got released. And you guys got beaten. Somebody look, it was a Monday night game. Okay. It was a Monday night football game. And I remember Tuesday, I worked out at the vet. And I had everything signed. I had a 3-year contract. I was ready to rock. Buddy was so fucking pissed at Jerome. And I signed, I get this, I was so mad at Buddy, I signed with the Cowboys. I'm not kidding. That was one of the reasons I signed with the Cowboys, was because Buddy fucked me over. Like, I had a kid in my hand. I went to the San Francisco. I went to San Francisco. I went to Seattle. I went to Kansas City. I went somewhere else. I went to San Francisco, Seattle, Dallas. I took a visit. I went to New England. I went to 5 teams. I had a choice on who I was going to sign with. I think the Cowboys gave me $50,000 or some shit to sign. And I remember because I signed the contract and I finished the 1988 season in Dallas on Tom Landry's team. And I was so pissed. I had a 3-year deal with the Eagles. I wanted to play next to Jerome again. And he looked at me and he goes, "You think I want another one of him around here? You fucking crazy? I know who you two guys are. That's all he needs is you here." He turned around and walked out. I looked at him. I go, "You fucking asshole." The Jerome goes like this. The general manager freaked out, looked at me, goes, "Wait a minute. I want to make it right." I'm like, "I'm fucking out of here." I said, "Take me to the airport. I'm going to San Francisco." I'm not kidding. That's exactly. I'm going to San Francisco. He goes, "You're not going." "Wait a minute. Wait." I go, "Get me on an airplane. I'm going to San Fran." Oh, my God. Hey. Oh, my God. Oh, funny, man. That great Jerome Brown. And hey, dude, I love JB. We're good, man. JB was one of my best friends, if not totally one of my closest friends. Okay. Stick it to hey, dude, I'm going, I'm fucking signing with the Cowboys. Jerome called me. He goes, "Hey, listen, don't do anything stupid. Buddy's settling down." I said, "Fuck that. I'm going to sign tonight with the Cowboys." I go, "The Eagles are only offering me $28,000. I go, "They're going to give me 50. What's his name? Tex Ram calls me, goes, "Don't sign with Philly." And so I went, "Yeah, okay." So Coach Landry, and then Coach Landry, of course, played with Robustelli. And so I said, "Fuck that. I'm going to Dallas." I was so pissed off, man. Yeah, the GM was Gamble of the Eagles in '88. I love Buddy too, man. I told you, he came down and coached me and Jerome. You know what? If I probably would have went to Philly, probably would have saved my career. Playing for Buddy Ryan, probably would have. Okay, going to Dallas because I got hurt there. I got sick there and all that shit. I don't know if that whole thing would have happened if I go to Philly. I don't know. You know, one of the cool things was, though, I met my wife there, so we're good. Silz, could you get Rex Ryan? You know what? I haven't talked to Rex in a while. It's funny when you guys bring these names up. Xander goes like this. "Silz, you've never had Kurt Warner on." I go, "Fuck, I had Kurt Warner on when we first opened the damn show." And he's like, "No, you didn't." And I go, "And I just forgot that we can get him on. We can get him on anytime. So we'll get Kurt Warner on again." Says, "Do you ever break anyone's bones while playing ball?" I broke someone's spleen, and we broke Troy Aikman's leg. So, I mean, does that count? We broke Troy Aikman's leg in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm still working on Foles. Keith Byers was great, was he not? Man, do we love those old school stories. Hey, man, those teams were really great. I'm telling you, that Gang Green defense was spectacular. I remember that idiot. Hey, it's a good luck to him, man. I hope it does well. Whatever, kid. Yeah, that's all good. Good luck, kid. You can't tell that a lot. Ex-coaches and players got a lot of respect for. Absolutely. No. Not the C Kurt Warner. The K Kurt Warner. Yeah, the quarterback was on the program. Yes. You know, McNabb and I've talked a lot of shit on him. Okay? I talked a lot of shit on McNabb. I don't think Donovan's a fan of mine. I've talked a lot of shit on that dude. Hey, I never thought he was a leader. I never thought he was a money player. I thought he was a really good talent. And plus, get this. He hung 60-some points on my Canes one year when he was at Syracuse. I can't remember what year that was, but I think they hung 60-something on my Canes at the Carrier Dome. And I don't know why that always stuck in. It's funny because Xander brought that thing up, that stupid thing up. You know what this asshole did? So Xander texts me after the Hurricanes get beat. He goes, well, True Carson Beck, he told you. True Carson Beck, he shows up. I'm like, yeah, your guy played a fucking shit game. He goes, oh, he sound like a Hurtsite. I'm like, what? It's sure enough, man. I don't know what it is. I defend my team like that. I do. Yeah, McNabb's a weird cat. Yes. He's a weird cat. 97, McNabb. Hey, McNabb in college, when he ran, dude, that guy was spectacular when he ran. Donovan was a great ball player, man. But he fell out of juice, and at the end, I mean, he probably played himself on legend mode. Get Howie Roseman on. You kidding me? He's afraid to come on. Your GM's afraid to come on because that would have to ask him normal questions. Hey, what do you make of your offseason? And of course, they'd be like, that's it. Did you break Randy White's freshman record at Maryland? Yes, I did. The record was 400. I did 405 bench. It still stands to this day, by the way. Yes, for a defensive tackle. I was 19 when I did that. 19. I was 19 at Maryland. I did 405. Yeah. I have that record still, and I have the Miami Hurricane record still. So that 83 record is over 40 years old. That 86 record is almost 40 years old. Silz, my bosses hate this show. I wear the big Silz. Oh, my God. Okay. Relax, Silz. Get this. You take it easy on all your guests. You stand inside the rails when you interview. Remember Doug Peterson? Guys, I have to be nice and ask appropriate questions. I want Doug back. So what? But I still ask the right questions. It's called rephrasing, guy. One day you'll learn what the business is about. I ask still the normal questions, but I just rephrase it. Obviously, you don't have the brain cells to understand that. So it's not that I don't ask the questions. I just rephrase the question in a different way. I mean, I know that you wouldn't follow along like that. And by the way, Senor, I'm not looking to get you back. I'm kidding. I actually like Senor. Okay. Let's see here. Don't let Silz get you fired. That's a good piece of advice. Silz, are you ever coming to a game? Dude, they are still trying to figure that out. It's not, get this, it's not me. That's not me. We're still trying to figure that out. And I hope we can get this done by the end of the year. Yes. Yes. Didn't you ask Doug about Press Taylor? I asked Doug. This is how I asked Doug the question about Press Taylor. How's it feel now seeing Nick Sirianni have more say on being able to hire assistant coaches that you want? Do you think that's great for the organization to have moved forward? And he goes, absolutely. I was not given that. That answers your Press Taylor question. No. I told you just a couple minutes ago. Silz, you ever talk to Kane legends? A little bit with Ray. I'm not friends with Warren Sapp. I'm not friends with Sapp. I don't respect him, and I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to talk shit on another Kane. But yeah, I do not. Let's see. I want Silz figure following Howie Roseman t-shirt. Yeah, well, that won't happen. Nope. I wanted to know why Howie didn't like Press Taylor. Well, dude, I mean, the interview was about Doug, not Press Taylor. What Sapp did during one Super Bowl in Arizona, I'm not commenting on him. I don't give a shit about that guy. Was Doug given the opportunity to pick his coaches in Jacksonville? That's a good question when we get him. He'll come on again. He's already said he's coming on again. So it's a $100 super chat if you tell the Warren Sapp story. I'm not a whore that bad. Tinder's like, tell it. No. Real Seal just shut me up for the first time in 20 years. No. Zeal, I'll tell you what I'll do. I tell you this. My wife knows this. I told him on Twitter, name the beach, name the day, name the time of day. I'll meet you on it, and we'll figure this out. That's all you need to know. No, listen. No. I have to listen to this. No. That's it. No. I'm not doing it. No. All right, I'm gonna plead the fifth here, and I'm gonna get John Morgan on. Hold on here. I got to do my John Morgan. I got to make some money here. I want you to stop. Yeah. The number one injury law firm in all of America is Morgan & Morgan. Make sure you guys do me a favor, please. If you've ever been injured, ever, at work, anywhere, do me a favor and check out my friends at Morgan & Morgan, okay? My friends will defend you and your family like they have for the last 25 years, making sure you get the best representation possible when it comes to covering you and your family. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Silz or PoundLaw529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Silz or PoundLaw529 to do me a favor. You tell them Big Silz sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, He called Morgan and Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan and Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Silz National Football Show. Do me a favor, hit the like button. I can't. I already promised my aunt I can't do it. I can't. I promised my aunt. I cannot. Listen, I already told you more than I should have. Look at Xander throwing big marshes up. I can't. I promised my aunt. My aunt might kill me, dude. I cannot do it. She's watching. You know that, Xander. I can't. Let's do this. How about this? I'll ask my aunt today if I can rephrase the story in a way that we can do it. Okay? And all right? I don't care if you post it to him. You could send it to his ass COD as far as I'm concerned. See, now you're yeah. After hearing your story on how you signed with the Cowboys, you're my dude, Buddy pissed me off beyond anything you can imagine. I'm not kidding. I would never have signed. I would never have signed. It's a pretty shitty story. That's why she doesn't want me to say it. What is the score against the Little Giants Sunday, Silz? Little Silz? Oh, Little Giants. Hey, be nice, Betty. I'm not going to tell the story. Now, you know what? Okay. He's not goated. Come on, Betty. Stop it. Story time, Silz. No, I can't. I'm okay. But we have 800 for you. Please, Betty. Please. This sounds like I'm in high school again. Please, can I? I got 35. I'm not doing it, man. I can't. Okay. You can. You know. Silz should have met Sap with the Road Warriors. I know the Road Warriors. I know them very well. I was friends with Animal and Mike and Hawk. Great friends with both of them. Silz does realize the amount of money he will make just by telling stories. Maybe I should write a book one day. And Betty, we're Philly fans. We wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah. Look at this. Hey, Betty, pretty please. Oh, my God. My aunt's getting play here today. I hate when someone starts a story. I didn't start anything. You guys did. I told you about Jerome in playing in Philly. Boy, you Philly people are assholes. God, you fit right in my life. Yeah. No, man. Yeah, I'm sweating now. I want you to stop. She says, how much do you need? No. Bet, relax. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. I hate when someone starts a story. Are you into Kane's 30 for 30? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I can't remember what I was doing when Billy Corbin. I went to school with Billy Corbin. Boulevard. I went to school with him. And we went to school together. Armando Salguero and I, we all went to school together. Silz, just take that ass whipping. No, I take enough ass whippings from her. I don't need another one. Betty the Pie's. Hey, Seg, you know what? Relax. Relax. Does Betty know that? Let me get out of here. All right. Hit that like button, guys. By the way, if I missed any super, Xander, let me know here, man. All right. Let me go back into what Vic said. Silz, who was your quarterback at Miami? Kozar, Testaverde, Steve Walsh, and Bernie was there for the spring. I was on the team, so I had Bernie Kosar. Okay. No. Relax, please. Stop it. Bet. Don't say anything. Okay. You missed not telling the story. Yeah, so we had those guys at UM. It was Bernie. It was Vinny. It was, Bernie, Vinny, Steve Walsh. These guys were all on the same team. You want to hear something even crazier? At one time, we had Kelly Kozar Testaverde on the same team. We had those three dudes on the team. Okay? Yes. I'll tell you a Ray Lewis story. You want to hear a Ray Lewis story and that whole thing in Atlanta? I'll tell you a Ray Lewis story. If you want, I'll tell you a Ray Lewis one that a lot of people don't know. Okay? Silz Duncan, DeSap. Dude, Maine is good. Okay? Hang on for a second. Hey, Bet, you stop, please. Will you please? All right. So let's move on here. Let's go to Vic. And let's go in. What'd you guys make of Vic Fangio's comments today? What'd you make of it? Okay? What'd you make of this and these comments? BG. Should the Eagles hire Mike McCoy as OC next year? I like Mike. I got a picture of Mike. I'm friends with Mike. And I like Mike McCoy. But I think you guys can have a better situation than like getting Frank in the building. I would take Frank. Okay? Imagine Brandon Graham coming out of retirement and getting his first sack at the Link and the crowd erupts. I love the fact that you think this is Hollywood. Okay? But it's not. Let's see. Honest, and I love it. Yeah. No, when he was asked about Brandon Graham, he goes, I don't know. I don't know. Silz, were you during the 87 draft? No. What happened was, for me, I got declared ineligible for the Gator game and for the 87 season that Friday of the 87 season. And there was an emergency meeting. Actually, it went like this. Wednesday, we were informed that I was not declared eligible for the 87 season for shit that people do today, transfer portal stuff. So they called me, Brian Bosworth, and Chris Carter, your own Chris Carter. You had an eagle in this thing. And they called me and they said, listen, we're going to have a supplemental draft on Saturday. And so I was like, you have to be in it. You're declared ineligible. I was a Hurricane. So NFL called me and they told me, okay, you're going to go into the supplemental draft. So now here's the deal with the supplemental draft. Whatever pick you use in that supplemental draft, in the 87 draft, 88, you get that draft pick taken away. So you understand what I mean? If you get drafted in a supplemental draft, the following year, that team loses a third rounder, first rounder, or I think in your case, a fourth rounder for Carter. So it went number one, it went Bosworth went to Seattle, and I was the 56th player taken in the 88 draft. So the Bucs had to give up there was only 28 teams, I think, in the NFL at the time. So they had to give up a third round pick for me. I was the first player taken in the third round, the 56th player taken. And Chris went in the fourth round, I believe. So the three of us went. Well, get this. I'm there at the Gator game on Saturday. I'm on the sidelines. Game was on national television. I flew out that night to Tampa. I dressed for the Bears game that Sunday. So I went from a Hurricane helmet on Wednesday. By Sunday, I was in a Buccaneer helmet. That fast. Signed a contract. That night, got drafted. The Bucs called me and said, and Ray Perkins called me and goes, "Hey, congratulations! You've been drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers." Now, teams put in draft picks. So I think there was like 5 or 6 teams that put in for me. I think the Steelers were one of them. Because remember, Gabe Rivera got paralyzed. And they wanted to get another guy inside. So they put a selection in for me too, but for Pittsburgh. I think the Patriots did as well. They weren't very good then. I think that Chicago had put a pick in for me. Buddy did. Because Buddy was still the coordinator, I think. No, Buddy was gone. Buddy was he was in Philadelphia. Jim Finks put a pick in for me in Chicago. And I know Chicago had put one in. I think Minnesota also put one in. Okay? Yeah, Sue. It was the craziest thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. That I turned around and I played in an NFL football game that Sunday. And I think my aunt was there actually for that game. After a while, my grandfather loved Hulk Hogan. You know, I'm friends more with Sterling, okay, than I am with Shannon. I'm not really friends with him. Silz, did you play with Dwayne at Miami? Baylor, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's been on our show. Do you know that? He's been on the show. We've had him on, and we're probably going to get him on again in January. He's doing a movie now. The reason why he hasn't been on, he's been really swamped. And from Amaya, his assistant, I think we're probably going to get The Rock on either December or January again. But we've had him on. And yeah, I text when, he has a moment. We go back and forth. I talk to Dwayne a lot. He played a little bit after me. I can't remember the year he got there, but yeah, no, he was after I got there. Silz, why do we have issues with elevating coaches? When you look at Detroit, there's been no drop-off. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Eagles struggle hiring from within? This is a fabulous topic that I never thought of. Experience? Why do you think the Eagles struggle from hiring from within? This is a fabulous topic. Power? Okay. Quarterback? Talent evaluation? Control? A couple more. Why do you think the Eagles struggle hiring from within? Maybe because the analytics. I think this is a great topic. Here's why okay. I don't believe they're looking for football guys. They are looking for guys that will just fit their culture. Here's why every time you guys try elevating from within, because they're not Nick's hires. They're the front office's hires. If I'm going to hire a coach that I know has the best interest in my quarterback, not the best interest in me or the front office, that guy's going to have more of a propensity. His job is tied not to me. His job's tied to the success of the quarterback. Kevin Patullo's job is tied to Jalen Hurts. That's what his job is to make that quarterback better. Kellen Moore made Nick Sirianni better last year, not Jalen Hurts. And this is why I bring it to you when I say Kellen Moore made Nick better, not Hurts better, because he was hired from outside the organization, which meant that the organization had more say in bringing him in. It's simple. Think about that. Kellen Moore made Nick Sirianni better. He didn't make Jalen better. He didn't make the passing game better. It's the same fucking passing game as a year ago. How did he make him better? Right? It's a great topic, Denny. So when you elevate from it within, that's why you get the helter-skelter coaching with the quarterback. Right? It's why it never looks like it fits. I love some of the stuff that Keith Byers is saying. I love what he said. Hey, there's too much internal bickering going on. Nick's in his own way? Not really. Because Nick goes along with what the management folks say. I'm sure Kellen, coming from the outside, had a lot of questions and suggestions about how things are run, and they don't like it. Well, he conformed and they ran the ball. Like I said a year ago, Kellen Moore didn't make the offense better. Saquon Barkley did. Kellen Moore's the same coordinator he was when he was in Dallas and in San Diego, or excuse me, Los Angeles. He's the same guy. He's not any better. What do you think he did different? He did something he never did in his entire coaching career. He handed the ball off because they told him to. Kellen Moore got a job because the Eagles went in a formation where they wanted to run the ball. They said Wentz regressed when he stopped being coached hard when Reich and DiFilippo left. Yeah, probably true. I think, get this, I like the Loeffler guy. I don't know how much say he has as the quarterback coach. He's got a great reputation. I think he was at Bowling Green? He's got a wonderful reputation. He worked with Tom Brady up in Michigan. He's got a pretty good reputation, dude. But I don't know how much latitude he has because he's a new dude in the building. I mean, Doug Musmeyer's down in I think that's wild. I wonder if Doug Musmeyer took that job at the New Orleans Saints because that Nussmeier kid's at LSU. You think that had anything to do with it? Hey, Xander, am I right? The quarterback at LSU is Nussmeier. Is he related to Doug? Is that his kid? Or is that his brother? I mean, I don't know what the relationship is, but the quarterback at LSU his name is Nussmeier, and I don't know if that's his dad or his brother or what. But I wonder if that's why Doug left. That's his son? Well, now I know why he left to go to New Orleans with Kellen Moore. Because the kid's the quarterback at LSU. That's his son. Well, that's probably why he went down there. That's his son? Okay. Well, that's probably the reason why he left Philly. It's because the kid's there at LSU. Makes sense. Wanted to be closer to his kid. Got it. They're all together. Pretty cool situation, actually. My son's a starting quarterback at LSU, and I'm the offensive coordinator at the New Orleans Saints. That's pretty dope. Didn't have a great record there. Not sure about head coaching, but position seems good. Yeah, no, listen, I think he's a really good quarterback guru kind of guy. He's got a reputation for that. He does. He's got a wonderful reputation. He's a hard-ass coach, too, by the way. Hey, congratulations. You got one before me. Cool. Great. Believe it or not, these were my favorite Eagle defensive guys of all time. Late 20s era from eye test. Brandon Graham, great player. Fletcher Cox, Malcolm Jenkins. Fletcher Cox is the best player of that group. Brandon Graham's the most respected guy in that group. And Malcolm Jenkins is a freaking hell of a player. If I were to put Brandon Graham in my Eagle, if I were looking at the best Eagles of all time for me, Reggie, Bednarik, Kelsey, Fletcher, Lane, Dawkins, sure. Cunningham, Jerome, Tommy McDonald, absolutely would be in that list. Dawkins, Bednarik, Reggie, Kelsey. Kelsey's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will be. Trey Thomas was an awful great player. I know Trey very well. Van Brocklin, you're going back a little bit, kind of deep in the old school. Jason Peters was spectacular. Van Buren was great. Tommy McDonald was a great player. Absolutely. Eric Allen. Jason Peters is a spectacular football player. Absolutely. Just tremendous. Pete was really a really underrated football player in Eagle history. Westbrook was one of my favorite football players like ever because he was just a dual threat guy. I mean, he could catch the ball. He can run the football. He was just a sensational ball player. You know, T.O. not long enough. By the way, you'd have to put, hey, would you consider this, with all the shit that we talk about A.J., is A.J. the greatest wide receiver in Eagle history? I'll tell you what, he's better than Mike Quick. Hey, Quick had a hell of a career in Philadelphia. He had a hell of a career. But he's a better player than Mike Quick. He's better. You know, I think T.O. is probably better, but not long enough. But A.J. Brown's the greatest wide receiver. You know what? Listen what you have on the current team now. Or how about this? Since the Nick Sirianni era, you had one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time. Look, Jerome didn't play long enough. Okay? He just didn't play long enough. Fletcher, in that era, Fletcher's can make the argument he's the greatest defensive tackle that's ever played. You have another guy in Jalen Carter that could be. Lane's going to go down as the greatest offensive lineman in Eagle history. Kelsey's going to go down as that also in that distinction. I mean, A.J. Brown's the greatest wide receiver of all time. Hurts may go down as the greatest quarterback of all time in this era of talent that Howie has put together. Dude, that's pretty impressive. Two best linemen. Mulata's going to be in that. Dude, Mulata is trending towards being a Hall of Fame player. He played 1 year in Philly. You think that's a career? I don't think that's a career. T.O. left his mark. Yeah, 1 year. Okay? And Hurts goes down as the greatest quarterback in Eagle history. No, he goes down as the most accomplished. He's not better than McNabb. He's more accomplished. That's like saying, again, Jalen Hurts falls in the same category as Bob Greasy with the Miami Dolphins. Greasy's got 3 AFC championships, 2 Super Bowl titles. That doesn't mean he's better than Dan Marino. He's not better than Dan Marino. And he's more accomplished. And Bob Greasy's a Hall of Famer. McNabb's a better player. Cunningham's a better player. Hurts is more accomplished. You can have both. Needle Shepard was a really good ball player. Shows how he likes people. Yeah, well, hey, whatever you want to say about that too, though, Adam, he wins. You can say all that bullshit you want. The day he wins, okay? Owens is a better player. AJ's a better Eagle. Okay? That doesn't shock me. That doesn't shock me, man. And like I said, I mean, T.O.'s probably one of the top 3 players in the history of the sport playing tight end or wide receiver. That doesn't mean he's that doesn't mean he's a better player. It just means that, AJ's a better Eagle. Okay? Well, dude, who do you think is a better wide receiver? So it's talent versus results. Absolutely, when you're talking about one player. Absolutely it is. Are you under the impression that, let me see, Devontae Smith's a better player than Randy Moss because he's got results? So, Primo, you think Devontae Smith is a better player than Randy Moss? Do you? He never won a Super Bowl. So, Primo, your opinion is that Devontae's a better player than Terrell Owens. Is that right? Based on what you just said? Is that what you're saying? That's not the question, bro. Just because you have a Super Bowl, that doesn't mean you're a better ball player. It doesn't mean you're better. That's like saying that Troy Aikman's a better quarterback than Dan Marino. He's not. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. Please do me a favor. Make sure you check out our friends, because if you've ever been injured on the job, you need to contact my friends at Morgan & Morgan. You're hurt in an Uber, at work, an insurance company didn't give you the return on your investment like you saw what was going on in California with the fires. Morgan & Morgan went in and got families restitution for insurance companies not paying their way when it came to those families losing their homes. Could do the same thing for you. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Battle Royale tomorrow. That's always a big hit. By the way, the Cowboys are playing better. They are getting better, man. I don't know. Xander may have hit something there. They may win 10 games this year because they're playing a lot better ball. George Pickens and Dak, that looks something that's formidable, man. They get CD going. They keep that running game going, and they just improved that defense a little bit. If they get Max Crosby, man, that's going to be a difference maker for them because they may feel they're in there now with that offense. I don't know. All right, guys. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Please hit that like button on the way out the door. 2 to 6 tomorrow. Big Z, Joe, thank you. And we will see you on the flip side.